and I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem.
'Tis the season to be jolly, right?
Charlie Brown before let's do the Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Spit bars.
This shit is hard though.
Unpopular opinions.
Woo!
Episode 16.
Yes, he says, right?
Feliz Navidad.
Ooh, switched it up on y'all this time. Y'all
Hey. What up, man?
Hey, shit. You know.
We got Carnegie Kid,
yeah.
aka Mr. Monday Night Mixtape.
You know.
We got McCray, who just came off the Wrath of Rain last episode.
Woo!
Drop a bomb to that. I made it. Rain should be here soon, guys. We got a special guest in the building. We got Carnegie Kids.
My sweet brother Noopsy.
Sweet brother Noopsy. my brother as well, from another mother. We got O'Neal, Mr. AKA, excuse me.
What's going on, everybody?
What?
Would you be saying that to the kids?
Yes, back in the day. Yo.
When the kids were mad loud, I'd be like,
Yo, that was a trademark. Yo, like, excuse me. He would never yell. He'd be like, excuse me. Excuse me. All right.
Shit, I really don't know how y'all deal with them kids, man.
Yo, man.
A lot of prayer.
Yo, a lot of prayer.
A lot of prayer.
A lot of happy hour. A lot of prayer, a lot of happy hour, man. So, yeah, man, we got a lot of shit going on. Again, Rain will be here shortly.
We're going to do the Uncle Murder year wrap-up rap.
Yeah.
Too, at the end. We're going.
Yo.
Them shits be so funny, bro.
This is the Christmas edition.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like when it's just the dudes when we start, we get a chance to, like, talk about sports.
Because they be saying, looking like,
word.
Talking about sports, like, I like LeBron.
Yeah, and that's it. So we start off with that. What? Well, actually, nah. I was thinking about the hip hop super team. I put up some shit about that, and some people they were.
I don't think when I looked at it, I don't know if it was illustrated properly, because I didn't know how many people I could pick. It said $15, but it was like I don't know how many people I could pick. Like,
so let me break it down for you guys.
It's the same as like normal.
Exactly.
Normal.
So
just spend the $50 however you want.
Yeah. For example.
So basically, I could pick all 5 of the $1 people, and then 4 of it, like I don't know.
So for example, you got for $5. You can either use the $5 out of the 15 pick. You can pay for a Biggie, Tupac, Jay, Rakim, or Eminem. Yeah. Right. So say for example, you pick one of them. Right, so now you got what, $10 in the bank. Yeah. Right, so then after that, you want to try to be a bit more.
But what I'm saying is, if that's the case, then I'm just picking Pac, Big Hove. Fuck yeah, whatever team you make, fuck out of here.
It's a 3-on-5. You're still gonna lose.
No, you will not.
You will
There's
lose.
no combination of people
That's
you're
like,
putting together that stops Big Hove Pac. Dead. Everybody dead. You're dead.
I don't think so.
Yeah, what, bro? Seriously?
I got 3 stack. If it was a 3-on-3, if it was a 3-on-3,
that's my favorite rapper of all time. So I'm not gonna argue with it. But Pac, Big Hove.
So you don't think 3 stack? I'll throw in Lil Wayne and
no, exactly.
A 3-on-3.
No, that's my
Nas
favorite rapper.
and M.
3
Come
Stacks
on,
is
man.
my favorite rapper
You
of all
bugging.
time.
You bugging.
No.
But we just playing 3-on-3. 5 for 5. I think I picked Nas. I had Nas. I had no shocker there. 3 stack. T.I. and J. Cole. So Nas, 3 stack. Redman, that was my 5th one. Redman, 3 stack. Nas, J. Cole, and T.I.
I thought that was him. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, the chick on the bottom for $2. That's his whack.
Who was that?
That's Nicki Minaj. A lot of people thought. Yeah, a lot of people thought that was Eve. Nah.
Just looking mad. You niggas got Kumo D for $1. Like, come on. Son.
I mean, I felt like some rappers was left off.
KRS
They could have added some more.
Like, come on.
Like somebody mentioned Method Man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if Meth really.
Yeah, I mean, somebody mentioned him.
Niggas got 3 as 3 though. Real shit. Let's adjust that. 3 stacks for $3, and niggas got Wayne for 4. Come on. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, he also got Slick Rick at 3 for $3.
You think that's disrespect? You think
He should
worth
be
more?
4 or 5. They got Big Daddy Kane as 4. I put him up there at 5. I would put Eminem at 4.
I could agree with that.
Like, I don't know why M is up there. Like, M is up there,
Using way
and
too many napkins.
and Nas is at $4.
Heck, I think they should be like 2 separate super teams. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, KRS One
newer
should be.
aged, like modern rappers, and then like old school legends.
Yeah.
Like
see
for
that.
15.
You gotta lift up your mic.
I think it needs to
Pause.
be rules on how many people you could pick because again, like it's you know what I'm saying. If it's you got to pick 5
Yeah.
people because then I can't do Big Pac Hove because if it was just $15, it's Big Pac Hove and then everybody else is done, bro. Like real shit. There's no group that's 1, 2, 3, regardless of how you want to line them up.
So you guys got Big Pac and Hov.
If that
Both,
would be
yeah.
the best team. Again,
Boom, Clyde.
3,000
3 on
3,000 is
3?
my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that's the best
The thing is,
team.
build your best team. Is if that's what we doing.
If
Like,
that's
I'm
what you're doing,
treating this like,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it
5,
doesn't-
10, 15.
Yeah, if I'm picking my favorites, then that's a whole nother.
Y'all motherfuckers finding loopholes and shit. I
Nah.
didn't even think of that.
What?
Nah, we did 3 on 3. Then yeah, then.
But if it's
5,
like to spread, because I guess you right. I guess you
Because I didn't know when I seen $15 to build. I'm like, all right, how many people can we pick? What is it? Because if it's just like, fuck that, just spend 15 how you want, bro. I'm picking those 3 big shots and
All right.
killing.
We got a call in, guys. So I'm gonna try this again with Harrington.
Okay.
She said the Wi-Fi should be better.
Who we got calling in?
Who we got calling in? It is Harrington Panyard.
Hello.
Hello.
Do I sound? Are you still hearing a delay?
No, actually, it's perfect.
Do you hear us on delay?
Can you hear us?
On Wi-Fi now, at home. Yeah, I can hear you guys.
All right, great. So we got in the studio. We got Carnegie Kid's older brother, my brother from another mother, Mr. O'Neal. Dag, should I say Dag?
Brother,
Dag.
You have your phone in your hand, McCray?
I have it next to me in front of me.
Let me try something.
So you want me to do a lot of work? I don't.
It's not that much work.
It
You
is.
got the week off, bro.
Emotion in the room.
Okay,
The
so
week off,
I have
bro.
to move the phone around and stuff.
Sorry.
That's too much work for me.
It's all right.
Just position it one place. You don't really show that much emotion. Position it to where it reef and
You're
rain.
doing a lot right now. I don't show that much emotion.
Put it back.
Is that fine?
That works.
Whatever works. All right, so she is right there. She's live from Antigua.
What up, Q?
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
So I don't know if you saw my post, but I put up the $15 super team. So the rappers that were for $5. So what you had to do was you had to pick 5. Oh, good looking, because I forgot my drink. You had to put you had to spend $15. So these dweebs here, they picked Big, Hove, and Pac. They used their whole 15 on the dudes that's for $5. So they
Because
found a loophole.
There were ain't no
That's a
rule.
damn
There's no
loophole.
loophole. There's no rules established. This was just like more rules needed to be established. Usually they tell you got $15 to pick
Yeah.
3 people or pick this many people. Like,
That was smart.
nah.
No, there's times where they say pick your starting 5.
That was smart.
Pick 5. Like then you can't get Big Pac Hove because they all 5. But nah.
So
15,
who would
pick
you
it.
pick? Who would you pick? Did you see it? My post?
I didn't, but what I'd have to find out is who's on the list and at what cost. Wait a second, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, if you could pull it up on Instagram, it's on the
Yeah, it's on the
it's
Unpopular
on the,
Opinions.
yeah, it's on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been on IG since I've been here. 1 second.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better.
But yeah, so we
That's
got
actually good. Fuck that, like man, dude.
No,
just
it's-
life. Fuck them apps, man.
nah. But
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. But the thing is too with that, right? I would choose. Damn, now I'm thinking. Damn, I should add M.
Add M to
Want me to
what?
make y'all jealous really quickly?
No, we don't. We don't want to be jealous.
Well, it's not everything that you want that you get. Wait a second. There you go.
So right now, fellow listeners, she's showing us her view live from Antigua, right by the beach.
Right near the beach.
Right by the beach. Lot of mercy.
Just saying. Just a little jealousy.
All right.
Nah, Murray said,
Really
Great.
that's a blood clot
That
view.
blue is water. That's water.
That's what's up. I'm glad you're having a good time. But we'll
Okay.
get back to your $5 your $15 super team list. But so to get into it, are you guys privy to Funk Flex's rant on
I didn't really.
well, not Hove, but just overall.
Yes, on Hove.
How?
Bro, what do you mean how?
How was it on Hove?
The whole the one that I heard, the whole shit was Life and Times is trash, 40/40 is trash, such and such is trash. That's all he kept saying. Like,
He
what
said
is that?
444 is trash?
No, 40/40.
Oh, the
he was
club?
getting at 40/40. You didn't listen when I DJ at 40/40. They telling me to take Dipset records off, but Life and Times is asking me to interview me about my involvement with Dipset. I know what y'all doing. You stole my shit to build that app, and the website is trash. How many times did he say Life and Times was trash? And the website is trash. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you used to suck Hove dick so much, bro. Like, to even play that kind of card is corny. Like, I feel like if you ever get to a certain point with somebody of love, that even if beef ever comes up in the future, it should never be no public, oh, fuck this, because nothing can ever get to that point with me. If we was ever that cool. Now, not to say men can't fall out and it can't be beef. You know what I'm saying? But, like, now for you to be coming at it, like, that shit is corny. And, again, I've said this shit on multiple times on the show. I feel like this shit is just theatrics. You just doing this shit for clicks. You just doing this shit for, like, shut the fuck up, Flex. Like, you used to suck Hove dick so much, bro. Like, you was the #1 Hove groupie, bro. Chill the fuck out, man.
But that's his normal MO.
Yeah.
Whenever he goes on a rant, he's always trashing somebody and saying what's hot. He's like presiding authority on.
Yeah.
I fuck with him with that, though, because there's a couple Flex rants that I'll be laughing at. But trying to bite the hand that feeds you when your career was basically got a bridge when Hove used to come up there with them whole freestyles, when the culture used to stop knowing that Hove was coming on Flex that Friday. Like, come on, son. Stop, bro. Stop.
I don't know. I was listening to it today on my way.
Are y'all hearing an interruption from my side?
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, outside? No.
Okay, cool.
But I heard some of it today, and when he lost me, and maybe you guys can inform me well enough on this. When he said that prior to them signing to Def Jam didn't want to deal with Rockefeller because at that time there was no way they can, I guess, monetize off of them. So what they did was they were like, you know what, let's put them on the soundtrack, the Nutty Professor soundtrack. And after that, it gained some traction. It began to be like a hit record, and that's when they decided to fuck with them. And then he stated, and this was a shocker, and the funny thing, and that's when I went underground. I wasn't able to hear it anymore. He said that that Jay-Z would have been the Mike Geronimo.
I didn't hear.
He said that.
Part. Maybe I didn't get to that part. This was the
because
same
it's
one where
pretty
he was
much
talking about Life and Times and all of
essentially, maybe so. Maybe that's when the rant continued.
Maybe.
But in saying that, to me, I interpret that as Def Jam made Rockefeller. Def Jam made Jay-Z.
I mean, Def Jam was the platform. Like, I mean.
So explore that. Do you think Jay-Z still would have been Jay-Z if he would have went to Jive or something like that, or Atlantic or another label?
I don't think so because they promote artists.
That's a fair question.
I think they promote artists differently. Like Def Jam was the culture. Def Jam is still the culture in a sense.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a hit to Jay-Z though. It's like, if Tom Brady didn't go to the Patriots, would he have had as much success? Probably not, but, like, he's still a fucking great player. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that might have dictated his success because he's on the biggest fucking label ever. That's the biggest rap label. Like, that's the holy grail. So, like, Hov was there. That might have capped him off. But, Flex, if you wasn't on High 97, would you be popping? If you was in fucking Tallahassee or fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the same shit could be said to him. Like, I don't know, man.
But that's also, I feel like that's also a jab and a diss at Mike Geronimo a little bit. I mean, I remember Mike Geronimo, for those of you who don't know. Like, he's an ill lyricist, ill rapper. But it was just weird to hear that comparison. Like, okay, I didn't know how to take that.
That was a reach for Flex.
I felt like that was
emotional.
That was a
That was a
massive
classic
reach.
flex rant.
Massive reach.
I think maybe I might have been talking about the wrong flex rant because I clicked something. He was talking about Life and Time.
Yeah, maybe it
swag,
was, but this one
and
was
all of
recent.
that. Okay, I don't
This
know.
one was
I
recent.
thought it was recent too. I thought
Maybe
I
you
was
could be
wrong.
right. Maybe I don't know.
He just kept going in. He was going in on Hove, talking about Life and Times is whack. And
The thing
he
is,
talking
all his
about-
rants sound the same.
Yeah.
They don't. You can interchange them. Just interchange the names,
He ain't
the
lying.
the voice,
Yeah.
the tone. Ever
Yeah.
since the '90s, they all sound the exact same.
The bomb every
Yeah,
3
like-
seconds. Like, bro, come on, son. Like, you like flex that shit. I don't know. I think it's 50 theatrics.
Yeah, it is. That's just him naturally, though. You could just check his history.
But do y'all think though, like Jay-Z would have had a? How do you feel his career would have panned out if he were on a different label?
I think it would be slightly different. I think that's a variable that would have changed it slightly.
In what realm? How would it be different?
Would he be as popular? I don't. That's a great question. But would he be the same rapper? Is the question. Like being on Def Jam, they push the artist.
I mean, unfortunately, rap is not a merit-based field. It's not like you're this good, you're gonna make this amount of money. Like, it's entertainment. A large part of your success is dictated off of your platform. Def Jam is the biggest platform. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that, like, I don't think that speaks to how good he is as a rapper. Like, if Sean Carter never got a deal and he was somewhere in fucking Marcy right now, he'd still be one of the best rappers in the world if you sat down and listened to him rap. So, like, yeah, if he didn't have the
But
platform,
that's
he probably
assuming that he would have had this. That's assuming he would have had the same, I guess, like platform to be made accessible to like the masses, right?
Like opportunity.
And exactly, and there's something about like having accessibility or access to people that also just affirms like your skill set and things of that nature. So like I thought about the Flash when you asked that question, because I've been watching it. But I
Shout
feel
out to
like
the
he would have
Flash,
still been
WB.
successful, but it would have looked differently, right? It would have been. It's just an alternate timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know what that success would have looked like. But I think a lot of his success is attributed to who he is as a person
Yeah.
and how it is that he runs his business, you know? I don't know. Because no one knows who at Def Jam might have served as his mentor and taught him that side of the business and things of that nature. And whether or not, like, that information would have been available with someone else.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. It's good to it's cool to talk about because think about who they had on their roster. You know what I'm saying, during that time. It was explosive, man. They had DMX, they had who else? They had Redman, Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Ludacris, they had the Def Jam South popping off. So it was just kind of like
I mean,
was
anybody
kinda
who met
popping
anyone,
before Lou.
it meant anything.
no, but I'm just saying like I guess that with Rockefeller, it propelled them.
of course.
Yeah.
Like signing Rockefeller was pretty much what, in my opinion, propelled Def Jam to even greater heights to sign and gave them that avenue to sign artists like DMX and Rough
Absolutely.
Riders and things like.
I mean,
well,
I think
partner up with Rough Riders.
the way the way the industry was going at that time was right before Hove popped. Pac and Big were the two biggest things, and they were fueled by crews. Big was fueled by Bad Boy, Pac was fueled by Death Row. So when those two people died, there was kind of like a void left in hip hop, and they were looking for crews. So I think Jay-Z with Rockefeller kind of fit, because it was like, oh shit, we got this head guy, we got a bunch of other guys that can take the place of Death Row, that can take the place of Bad Boy, and they were looking for that voice. So I think things conveniently worked out for him in that sense. But does that take away from his talent? Absolutely not. That's still God MC. Like, don't disrespect, man. Flex, you know. If anybody knows, you know, bro.
He takes his Jay-Z serious.
I'm saying that I'm not even the biggest Hov
Clearly.
fan, but like, don't disrespect, man. Like, don't try to act like he wasn't the culture for a while, man.
And he shifted. Well, he started the conversation as far as saying culture vultures and things like that. So, and that's when he started like getting more in depth as to the signing of Rockefeller and how that came about. So he pretty much started name dropping. So I was just trying to really be keen for who and why he was name dropping these people. Like he name dropped Kevin Lyles, and the guy Leo Cohen.
Of course.
And then he was just like how, he pretty much was the person who was responsible for putting in that extra effort to sign Rockefeller.
But
Absolutely.
Lyle
You know what I'm
Cohen
saying?
was responsible for signing a
Yeah.
lot of people.
The entire Def Jam roster
You
is
know what I'm
Leo,
saying?
man.
Like, he's the architect.
But I was trying to find his angle. What was the angle of bringing that up?
It's
as far
flex.
as,
Trying to discredit Hov.
That's
Hov did
flex.
something that Flex didn't like.
But it
and
wasn't-
now he's trying to get
but-
back at him. I don't know what
Well,
it was.
this wasn't the first time that he went after Hov because
Yeah,
it's not the
thank
first
you.
time. I didn't listen
Thank
to the
you.
rant, but I do know that he went off like not too long ago about Hov stealing some shit for him from Tidal. So it's not the first
I
time
remember
that I've
that.
heard that story, and I feel like there's something in the background that's happening that's causing that conversation to continue. You know what I mean?
possibly. I mean,
Yeah, before this, I think that was his last Hov rant. Was the title
Yeah.
when Title dropped that whole
yeah.
thing.
Flex.
And I know this is something that when Rain arrives here, it's something that she would want to revisit and discuss. But, you know, it's just weird. Sidebar. This is like off the whole topic, Q, and you might be lost in translation. But in the studio, we have two huge Laker fans.
Yay.
Law for life.
So, O'Neal, I didn't get a chance to speak to you about this, but how do you feel about LeBron playing in La La Land?
Do I like it? Ultimately, no. I mean, I accept it because he's on the team. He's wearing the jersey, so
That's
I mean,
crazy, yo.
Like,
Like that's crazy. Like the fact
Still
that the
is.
best player, and I'm putting up air quotations, the best player in the league.
he's the best player in the league.
I'm sorry, not
let's
this
not-
year. This year I can't
Yeah,
give him
this
that,
year
man.
he's not.
This year he's not.
He's
Last
not.
year,
He was.
last year definitely, hands down he was, and I say that I say that with conviction he was. This year I don't. Nah, man.
There's too many young
There's
guns
too many.
out there.
Like got Giannis,
He
KD, who's
although he had 9 points last night. But,
for real.
Yeah, he had 9 in the L.
That's crazy.
But I mean, hey, it happens.
Shit
sometimes.
happens.
Yeah.
82 game season.
I mean, LeBron has 9
Yeah,
points in the game.
everybody has.
But initially, what were your thoughts?
Initially, like I said, I was like, all right, he's here. Got accepted. He's on my team, whether I like it or not. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Me watching the game,
How so?
it's not. It's hard to explain because I watch and I'm like, all right, we win. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's cool.
Mm.
We lose. I'm like, whatever. It's not. I don't have that same like emotion behind it.
Damn.
I don't have that same emotion because the vibe is different. Like just seeing him in a jersey, in the Laker jersey, and it says James on the back is a trip. First of all, that's crazy to know. It's like, yo, he's really playing for the Lakers right now. Like it's very different.
I guess you know what, and that probably speaks to people who were Washington Wizards fans when they saw MJ
Yeah, exactly.
in a Wizards uniform.
Or just Jordan fans.
Yeah,
like,
I
yo,
was a Jordan fan. I'm like that scene, but I bought
Yeah,
the jersey. I bought the
exactly.
Wizards jersey. I did.
But see, I think that's even a different situation because not to say it was beef, but there was definitely a sense of like there was a couple years we were supposed to face the Cavs in the finals.
Oh, he
and
messed
the
that
Cavs
up.
didn't make it. So like, not to say like there's no rivalry between the two teams, but it's like I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't want him to come to my team. Like I didn't want to see him in that jersey.
I remember you were very adamant about that
Like,
on
yeah.
social media.
I didn't want like I was totally against that. Like maybe I'm a traditionalist. You could call me whatever you want, but like, oh, your team ain't make the playoffs and whatever. All right, like whatever, man.
Mhm.
But I didn't want that.
Yeah.
Why not? Exactly.
It's corny.
Yeah, my biggest issue was once he got there, the bullshit was gonna start with like the hype. Like
Yeah.
King of LA, like he hasn't done anything. He's not the King of LA. He's never gonna be the King of
Shit,
LA.
Clippers got a better record than us right now.
Yeah,
so
actually
who the
tied.
fuck is the king of
You actually
LA?
tied. Y'all both 19 and 13.
They still the
Okay.
Clippers. It don't matter.
Right.
They still the Clippers.
Yeah, but that speaks to us having the same fucking record. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Clippers, and we got the same fucking record, and we have Braun and all that, and they fucking like,
but-
who's the Clippers' best player right now?
Louis Williams, I think.
No,
Yeah.
Tobias Harris. And
Yeah,
Lou Will.
Tobias.
Tobias and
I
Harris.
forgot they had him.
But
But it was like kind of a rhetorical question. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Tobias Harris, LeBron James, and they got the same fucking record.
yeah, I mean,
So-
it always takes his team's time to adjust because they have to learn how to play with him. But like I said, like it's different knowing like he's there and all the bullshit that came with it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, King, crown him. They got fucking murals up.
Which is crazy.
Which I'm like, yo, he didn't play a game. He's got a fucking mural up.
Yeah,
Like, come
word.
on, like, stop it. I'm
We
like,
the Lakers.
I'm like, yo, Elgin Baylor don't even have a statue up. Jerry West don't even have a statue up.
They're-
James Worthy don't even have a statue up. Like,
They already put him as like one of the best
Like,
Lakers.
he's not doing it, you guys. It's his fans doing it. So why are
Yeah.
you guys holding him accountable to that?
We ain't saying
Like,
we
why are you
hold
guys
him
holding
accountable.
to his fans, just like paying homage or recognizing like the skill set that
It's
he
not.
brings to
It's not just the fans. It's also the
it's
media.
the media.
It's
the media too.
It's the media.
We're not holding it against him. We're
Nah.
just saying this
Yeah.
shit is whack. Like,
Yeah.
this is the fuck. We're the Lakers, man. This ain't fucking Milwaukee Bucks. You don't come here and just because you wearing the jersey, you get fucking murals and statues and all that, bro. The last guy that was here that let us got 5 rings, man. So maybe get one of those first before we start talking about murals and all statues and all that shit. King of LA, nothing, bro.
That's real.
Like,
Because the minute he wins one, if he does, they'll be like, "Oh, he's the best Laker ever."
nah, no way.
But that's the media's spin on it.
I will say this though: if he were to bring a title to Los Angeles, I feel like it would be, in my opinion, I think it would be up there with him bringing a title to Cleveland.
No,
How?
I don't know. No, not the same.
We got the
level.
most rings of any team. That's a team that's never won. How? On
Nah,
what level?
it won't be the same.
How is it
How?
comparable?
Because I'll tell you why. Because one, LeBron, and I'm speaking from the full perspective of what the media is going to do, right? So he wins that title. What's going to happen is Sports Center all night is going to be ranking his performances up with different Laker greats, which is unfair because it's only one.
And that's the media.
And after that, what else is going to happen?
I mean, because they do it don't mean it's going to be real, though.
But here's the
fuck
point I'm
about.
trying to make is the fact that they get through the West. Everybody know the West is tough, which I feel like the West now is just like,
Still better than East.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a matter of putting it in that perspective. Like, he got out the West, the tough West, came from the East, and he dominated the West, and he came out on top in the finals. And I feel like that's the narrative. That's the story that they're
that'll be
gonna,
the narrative they push.
and they'll put that up there, if not surpassing.
You doing
Him
that one
doing that in
time,
Cleveland.
surpasses
Nah, he can't-
fucking Kobe
it won't- to
doing
me,
that
it
shit
won't surpass
5
And I
times.
feel like that's how the NBA, and this kind of goes into our next conversation, but that's how the NBA gets his fans, gets his money through building storylines.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
Building like these narratives with these players, and
they were
it's not,
doing it since the '80s.
yeah, and it's just like
Magic and Bird.
it's kind of corny now, in my
Well, I don't
opinion.
know if it's corny, y'all, because a couple of weeks ago we were having a conversation about how the NBA almost went bankrupt, right?
That
This is what they
was
need to
in
do in
That was
order
in
to
the
keep
80s.
70,
the-
yeah,
keep
like
the
right,
hype around
79.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still, but the attention that the media has brought to what the NBA is doing, whether or not it's positive or negative, like that's one of the things that's feeding into the economy of that business, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like whether or not you feel as though it's corny or not, like it's just a part of the fabric, and it makes like good entertainment.
I
So
suppose
it's
so.
funny because
Yeah.
it puts me in a place to want to continue to push you guys just on the way that you think about like the players and the team and things of that nature, because like I hear that, but like I think people have moved away from this idea of like a team oriented like he's not from the West Coast. It's a fraud in the first place, right? He's not from the West Coast, just like Jordan wasn't. He wasn't from the East Coast. He was from the Midwest. So like it's just a part of the package of like making the NBA stay relevant.
Well, actually, MJ was born in the East. He was born in Brooklyn. Then he moved down south, and then he played ball
And
in
then
the
he played for Washington.
Then he
DC.
then he played in the Midwest. He played in Chicago. That's Midwest, isn't that Midwest?
Yeah.
Something like
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, but weren't y'all talking about him going to the Wizards?
Yeah, but they ain't that.
Isn't the Wizards?
But he
isn't the
started
Wizards
off in
straight up East
Chicago.
Coast?
I'm not mad about LeBron not
Just
being
like LeBron
from
started off
the
in
West.
Cleveland,
Like
his hometown.
Kobe's from
Yeah, I'm not
Philadelphia.
upset. I don't think the issue is that. I just think like I just more or less wanted to know the perspective of avid Laker fans as to how they felt about LeBron being in Los Angeles. It was just a bit, weird for me to see at first. But then I realized it wasn't based upon winning. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was based upon winning, him coming to L.A. That was strictly a business move.
Oh yeah.
And
Want to be Hollywood.
But
You know,
the
which is
Lakers
cool.
would have to get something like business out of that too, right? So
That's
maybe
true.
It's a business move for them. Like it could have been more a business move for them than LeBron. Hear
Yeah.
this: LeBron, he might fund films, but he's not a director. He's not he might be an executive producer, but that's not his skill set, right?
yeah.
Remember, what's the name of that show on Showtime or HBO with the dude Cam or whatever the case is, who was drafted by a basketball team? Blah blah blah.
Oh,
blah,
you're talking
based
about
Oh, that's on
Survivor's
Stars.
Remorse.
That's Survivor's Remorse.
whatever
Survivor's
it
Remorse.
is,
That's
Yeah.
his
that
show.
has been out before he went to the Lakers, right? So
Yeah.
he doesn't have to be in LA in order to push his own business endeavors.
But this move
So you
elevates
think about
it
it being
more.
a business move, it may very well be a business move for the Lakers, so they didn't get a ring in a couple of years, and they used it to hit top shit.
It was for both, honestly.
Yeah.
Like Magic being the executive
What I'm
is teaching him.
So
Even more
Reese
opening
and
more doors.
Reese older brother, forgive me, I forgot your name, but y'all need to say thank you to LeBron for bringing.
The
like,
fuck
some
I
type of
don't.
Nah, we know. We
Fuck
definitely
I
don't need to do
do. I don't
that.
gotta think
You're
nothing.
bugging.
It's
You're
always
bugging,
the
Kim.
angle of the organization to be trying to make money. That's always their angle. That never changes. What I'm saying is the players that I admired, number 8, was here to win. He wasn't there for no extracurricular. I could make movies. I could do shows. I could do this and play basketball. It was no. I'm putting on these jerseys to get on the court and win. Blood, sweat, tears, torn Achilles, all of that. I'm going out here to win. So when the next person that comes in isn't really on that shit, nobody could be mad at me for looking at him some kind of way. Because I just watched 20 straight years of somebody that broken hand, torn Achilles. It don't matter. I'm out here. If I'm alive, I'm out here to try to win. Not to try to make movies and all of that other shit. So,
but let me ask you a question. Like, in paying attention to, I guess, like what he's taken to his team, whether or not it's been like the Cavs or whether or not it's been the Heat. Do you think he doesn't bring the same level of commitment to those teams as well?
I don't think anybody brings the level of commitment that Kobe brought, but that's just maybe I'm being biased with that. But I think in those situations he was more worried about winning. I mean, the Cavs, he got drafted to them, so you're kind of obligated to play for them. The move to Miami was strictly about winning. He was trying to win a ring. He hadn't had a ring, and he wanted to win absolutely. So that's what that was for. I don't think that this move was necessarily to win. I think that shit was for business.
How many rings does LeBron have now?
3.
3.
3?
Yeah.
You don't think he would want to try and like top Kobe? And,
I think he
like,
knows he
whoever else
can't.
has, like beyond 5 rings.
I think he knows he can't beat the Warriors, so it's kind of like instead of exercising futility, let me just try to make the situation as best for myself as possible because I'm not beating them anyway. So
naturally, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, like the Warriors, like the players on the Warriors are doing the same thing. Like they are trying to position themselves to win too. So I think he's only like responding to like what the atmosphere, the environment of the NBA is now.
he kind of set
Because,
that
like,
environment
yeah, I'm not gonna go
though.
to a team just to lose. Duh.
He's the one that set that environment though. Him not doing that, him not going to Miami doesn't make the league cupcake league to where people like KD are saying, "Oh, I'm going to a team that won 73 games." In my opinion, I think he's the one that dictates, that sets the narrative for the league, and he established that by making that move. And there's just been a free for all since then.
And I'm happy that he did it rather than some white person like continuing to maximize on his talent and continue to make money on his what he naturally brought to the table. And I hear the arguments that you guys make, but I think like overall, like just for the culture of basketball and all the kids who are like trying to aspire to get there, like that's a big deal.
I don't know. He was gonna get his money anyway. I hear a lot of people trying to pose that and say, "Oh, the organization, they're gonna use you. It's best to do what's best in your interest." Like he was gonna get his money anyway. If he went to Orlando Magic, if he went to LA Clippers, he's gonna get his max deal, his money for playing basketball anyway. I don't think that was. He didn't come to the Lakers to get more money.
If he didn't make that decision, it might not have put him in the position to do that. So should he have sacrificed like disrupting what NBA was and how it was that people like made decisions about teams and stuff like that they were going to, just for the sake of keeping the NBA the same? Like, should he have?
Nah, he's gonna look out for his best interest.
Of
I
course.
totally like.
Exactly.
I don't look down on his decisions that he's made. I think now this point in his life, it's more than just it wasn't just totally, oh, I want to move to LA to try to win for the Lakers. It was for his family.
Yeah.
It was for business.
Which you should take into
what?
consideration
At this point in his life.
You
So,
should.
exactly.
And amen, he still opened up a school in Cleveland
Yeah,
that sets a tone for like a strong educational institution in Cleveland. And you got people like Jordan who's still robbing from the culture, who still hasn't done no shit.
How is he robbing the culture?
No,
How is Jordan robbing the culture? Because last time I checked, LeBron James sneakers, because I know that's your angle.
Same shit.
LeBron James sneakers cost more, if not the same amount as Jordan sneakers.
It's just not as good.
Yeah, but
Come on.
notwithstanding, Jordan has been making money off the community for years.
Okay, it's fair to say LeBron is making money off the community too. That's not, you can't.
But he's also
it's
giving
different.
back. He's also clearly giving back.
But we don't
Clearly
know
has
what
a plan
Jordan's
on doing
doing.
that.
We don't know. So here's the thing.
And
Go
we should,
ahead.
but we know he's selling $200 sneakers.
We don't have
should
to
know
know
what
that.
he's doing. Like,
Oh,
that's not, like,
go
that's
ahead.
bullshit that you like even come in responding and saying we don't know what he's doing.
We don't.
Jordan
Just like
is
how you
selling
guys
numbers.
told me,
We know he's
Beyonce. We don't know what Beyonce's doing. Y'all made sure y'all told me that.
What she did with a portion of her money.
Come on, that's not fair. You just don't like Jordan. That's the same point y'all made.
You
We
just
don't
don't
know
like
what
Beyonce.
Beyonce's doing. We don't know what Jordan's doing.
Jordan gets a bad rap,
But what
but he
I'm
does a lot for
saying-
charity.
He
What I'm
does.
saying-
Go ahead.
Okay, so Reeve, name for me what he has done for charity that has directly impacted the.
I don't know
like,
about it
urban
off
neighborhood.
top because
I
it's
know-
not as media
I know-
covered as LeBron doing the.
I know.
Doing the things. Okay.
I know.
Right.
What he did was he actually donated $2 million to those families who were affected by police brutality, who kids were killed by a cop. He also donated
Who
his.
did that?
Excuse me.
Jordan.
Jordan did that.
Who, Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
2 million?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yes. He also donated his earnings from the Washington Wizards to the victims of
That's
9/11.
So,
But that's just two. That's off the top of the head.
as well.
But come on.
Yeah, what Jordan gets a bad rap from is during the '90s when a lot of things were happening, he wouldn't take his platform to
Yeah.
speak
He
out
wouldn't take a
against them.
stand.
And what I will say is that LeBron does
Yeah.
the hands up, don't shoot, and all that. But let's not pretend like LeBron doesn't operate in a different.
He operates in a different climate
in
now.
a different climate than Michael Jordan did. If LeBron James
Yes,
was the
but
star
what-
in
but I think what we don't
1990,
remember
I
is
don't
that
think
the-
he would have done the same. LeBron James is doing that
The
on the back
environment
of
was not
Michael
the same
Jordan.
for LeBron when he entered the industry as well. The environment was not the same for LeBron when he entered the industry as well. So I think that's a cop out. Just like the environment around basketball wasn't the same, but he disrupted it by doing what he did.
No, it was a different
not-
time. It's like saying like Magic Johnson and them wasn't really going hard saying shit in the 80s, that they didn't really have the platform to do so. They weren't making as much money. LeBron James is as powerful as he is because Michael Jordan made it possible
Thank
for
you.
a basketball
That
player
was my
to be
next
that
point.
powerful.
That was my
like
next
he's
point.
operating in a total different climate.
He
We
made
can't
it.
like Michael Jordan didn't really have the climate to be able to speak out politically in 1990. In 2018, it's totally different. We'll accept that from our athletes. Michael Jordan might have fucking lost all his endorsements had he tried to say some shit at that time.
Did we forget about the Olympians who? Did we forget about the Olympians who raised their fists? I
What's-
forget the name of those. Olympians in the
Exactly.
70s.
You're
What
proving my
platform
point.
are
And
we
what's
looking
their
for?
name?
What platform do we need?
And
for him
what-
to be, like,
and
what
what's their
needs to have
name?
happened for
Tommy
Michael Jordan to
Smith.
stand
Well,
up
what
and
I'm
speak
saying
out?
is-
Oh,
Sorry,
gotcha.
I can't respect that.
But we don't even know their names is my point. And Michael Jordan
But that's
maybe
not the
not
point. It
being
wasn't
as
about us
vocal.
knowing his name.
It is when you're out there to make money. A lot of people not willing to sacrifice their livelihood for the cause like that. And LeBron isn't in a position
Reed.
to sacrifice his livelihood. I think if there was a situation to where we would not know his name anymore if he would protest, I like to see if he still do it.
Reed.
This shit is convenient for his
Reed.
brand to say shit about what's going on right now.
Pretty much.
Like, for real. I don't think he's crazy. Like, he's not standing on the front lines really protesting and
he's
doing all
still
that
not-
shit.
he
This
still
shit is
don't have
convenient
shit to
for
say.
his
What are y'all
brand.
telling me?
He's not.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Q?
I said, and so the atmosphere has changed. He has a platform, and he's still not saying shit. And to be clear, it was Tommy Smith and John Carlos.
He
who raised their
looked it
fists.
up.
I know. I looked it up, but I already knew.
What I'm saying is we have to
And-
look it up.
And
That's my whole
not the-
thing.
I don't-
We gotta
because
look up their
they're
names.
Olympians who compete because they're Olympians who compete one time a year. Michael
I know-
Jordan had a platform for months.
I know mad
And still didn't say
Olympians'
anything.
names.
Actually, every 4
The
years.
platform currently exists where he can speak up, but you don't hear him saying anything. So what are y'all telling me?
We do.
What are you
We
telling
do.
me?
Nah,
Here's
he
the
doesn't
thing.
What do you hear Michael
oh,
Jordan saying?
Let me say something.
What is Michael Jordan?
Can I
saying
say something? I would love to
And
say it.
speaking of-
Can I say it?
Y'all
So
talking about
here's
Michael B. Jordan? Like what?
So here's the thing, right? And I understand what you're saying. I see that MJ doesn't get that rap. It doesn't get that whatever. But you have to put. And I'm sorry I'm bringing her up again, but it just makes my point. Makes that much more sense. Whatever. Like with Beyonce, right? You guys, she does no wrong, right? And I don't have any hate for Beyonce when I say this, right? But she does no wrong. We don't give her the same type of shit that you give Jordan. We don't hear nothing from we don't hear nothing from Beyonce. We don't hear nothing from Beyonce. The reason why I compare them to because they're both very much influential African Americans in our society. Like they're very influential. So with MJ, I can't say he's not that vocal person, but however, it is unfair to say that he hasn't contributed to or stood up or did anything with that. I mean, there's some people that's just not what they do. Like same thing.
Yeah,
May
I
she
sat
rest.
down here and told you that Michael
Nah, but
Jordan
this-
sat down there and gave $2 million away when this man makes $3 billion off of them
The
shoes
thing
that all
is-
of y'all probably got on y'all feet right now.
What I got on
Come
my
on.
feet? I got on Hirachis right now.
That
No, the thing-
man is worth over $1 billion.
I think
right
the thing
now,
that
he's not doing nearly enough. I am not interested. I hear
So here's the
y'all.
thing: who can
He's
do
already
enough?
a billionaire
What-
by himself. He's not doing enough.
the thing that's disappointing.
And, and like it is what it is.
Yeah, the
I
thing
don't
is,
care about the time and frame in which he came up in. He should have been a little bit more educated to understand how it was. Like he had more experience to understand how it was to get educated. Like the same, I think the environment was very similar when LeBron entered. Granted, there was a lot that happened. You had what's homie from the Sixers, Allen Iverson, who contributed to, I guess, disrupting and giving voice in his own way. All of those things did happen like post Jordan, but it's not the point. The point is, like, I don't think the landscape was the same for LeBron either, but he changed it, right? You can make a choice to change it.
yeah,
If you, the billionaire who has access to the platforms, don't, who else is going to do it?
But when is
And we're
enough?
sitting down
But
here giving him a pass.
Michael
Why
Jordan
should-
wasn't a
because everybody
billionaire in
likes to wear
1990.
on their shoes? Come on.
Michael
But-
Jordan
yeah.
wasn't a billionaire in 1990, is what I'm saying. He had to play
But
that
he
role
he is
in order to
2000.
get to
He
this
is in
point.
2000, and he still ain't got nothing to say.
But here's
He
the
is
thing, though.
2000,
You
he still
say,
ain't got nothing
but
to
you
say.
mentioned like everything is nothing. He that hasn't done enough. Nothing's ever gonna be enough for people in everybody's eyes. It's not. It's not. LeBron. Oh, you open the school. That's great. What else you gonna do? Like that's still not enough in some people's eyes.
but
You understand?
The perspective is different because they both have the same role essentially as basketball players and being icons. The difference is LeBron was more vocal, and people wanted Michael Jordan to be that type of vocal because he has that. He had more power. He still has more power than LeBron.
It's easier to be vocal in 2018 than it is in 88.
Yeah, because
true,
let's
too.
be real. You have
That's
Twitter.
true, too.
You got this
Yeah.
Facebook shit. Like him calling Donald Trump. What he called him? A bum. Like okay. Like I feel like even when, and I know I wanted to wait till RAINE and get here till we talk about it, but even with that whole thing with Donald Sterling, you understand what I'm saying? And I felt like prominent athletes like him, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, those players, I felt like they could have done more, as you would say, Q, to pretty much get their voices heard. If they would have played, I feel like that would have had like an astronomical. It would have had a major impact on that particular situation with Donald Sterling, as far as him using that type of language towards his players. But I don't know. I just feel like if we're gonna talk about that, we have to discuss his comparison to the NBA to the NFL as well. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of a bit off. You guys heard about that?
What?
He said something. He said as far as the owners are like
Yeah,
slaves.
he said,
The
yeah.
owners of the NFL are like slave owners.
Who said that?
LeBron.
He said that on the last episode.
On the last episode of The Shop.
Why is that different?
He said the NBA is more progressive.
Yeah.
He's like we have
More of a voice.
More of a voice. He said with like he said Adam Silver respects what we say and takes it into account. He said with the NFL owners, it's just old white men saying, "Oh, you do this, you play for me. If you don't do it, you're gone. I'll get the next dude to come in and do it."
I can see that.
Which makes sense.
And where I can agree with that somewhat. The NBA is a bit different from the NFL for two reasons. It's always been
More progressive.
African American driven, more
Not-
so than
It was
for longer than the NFL has. Towards
Yeah.
the late 80s, the NFL was still kind of,
Yeah.
mixed, white and black. The NBA is, 90% black or something like that, what I will say. And the individual player has way more power in the NBA than an NFL player does. NFL is more about system, scheme. If you don't go along with what the team is doing, then we'll cut you. There are only maybe 10 transcendent players in the NFL that you can say no matter what roster you put them on, no matter what system you plug them into, they're going to dominate. The NBA is way different. There are 20, 30 guys that are transcendent that you can say wherever you put them, they're going to do their thing. So the players have more power. The players can be like, yo, fuck, I'm not playing, and then they're fucked. The NFL, you see Kareem Hunt, you get into some shit with a chick, you led the league in rushing last year, but we'll cut your ass immediately, and we will not skip a beat. You think LeBron James gets into some shit, the Lakers could just cut him like that and not skip a beat? Hell no. Lakers will fucking tank crazy if we cut Braun. So the individual isn't as important in the NFL. So I think the owners operate accordingly.
And it's just the nature of the game also, if you think about it, right? And it's to quote LeBron, he stated that the difference between the NBA and the NFL, the NBA is like what we believe he can be, what we believe he can be with potential, LeBron said. And the NFL is like, what can you do for me this Sunday or this Monday or this Thursday? And if you ain't, we moving on, which is kind of, I get that.
I could agree with that.
However, in comparison to, and I know Rain, she brought up this topic on one of her posts as far as with Donald Sterling. I also feel that the NBA players could have impacted that whole thing that was going on with more action. Like, sit out. Like, I know what the Clippers did. They wore their shirts inside out, their warm-ups inside out. No names. I'm like, wow. You really sticking it to them there, pal.
Word.
I always felt some type of way about that. I'm like, don't play.
I mean,
like,
they still got the contract that they have to, like, respect,
At the end of the day, I just think the money is and the branding and all this stuff is more important. That's why I feel like when we had that conversation about, the revolution and all that, where nobody's about that now because everybody's comfortable. We're good. We don't the climate isn't like the way it was in the 50s and the 60s when
Shit, I ain't comfortable. Fuck
like
that.
as far as the
I know, I was
athletes.
about to say, who's comfortable?
Yeah, fuck
You
that.
think about I'm talking about as far as the athletes now, comparison to the athletes of the 50s and 60s with the Jim Brown,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying, Kareem
More
Abdul-Jabbar, those type of athletes, Bill Russell, little do people know, well, I mean, if you took the due diligence, as Rain would say, like when Bill Russell, he was playing with the Celtics, it was hell for him the first couple of years,
Word.
right? It was extreme. It was hell for him, right? So I just think now with these players, look at these contracts. You think I'm going to be, putting on a good fight for the quote-unquote revolution when I'm making over $100 million? No. So that's why they're going to continue to play, and that's why I feel like what Kaepernick did spoke volumes, and I think it put a lot of athletes on notice. And
Yep.
I just think that.
Do y'all think Kaepernick knew?
Do you think
it was-
Kaepernick would have got away with that if he wasn't half white?
You mean got away with what?
With taking a knee. I mean,
He ain't
didn't
really get away with it.
There
He
was
didn't get
other
no
dudes.
job.
There was dudes that was my complexion,
away with
O'Neal's
anything.
complexion taking a knee, and they still in the league.
Say that again.
There's people my complexion and O'Neal's complexion right here taking a knee, dark skin taking a knee, and they still have a job.
Nah, but
He was
the
started
face.
it.
He was the
Yeah,
face of
started
it.
So that's
I don't think him being half white has anything to do
Yeah.
with it at all.
nah.
I just think
he was the face. He
Do,
was.
yeah.
do y'all think he would have done so in hindsight, knowing that he was not gonna have a job anymore? Because honestly,
That's a great
real
question.
shit, I think
That's a great
and
question.
I'm not. You
He
don't
might
don't
not-
come
I
at
don't
me.
think
Don't
he might.
kill me.
He might not have done it.
I think he was doing it to get off the 49ers, honestly, because the 49ers ownership
Really?
group is not really progressive. They don't like that shit. I think he was trying to get off that team. Do you think he would have done that had he known he was going to be out the league and not have a job?
that's
honestly.
interesting.
That's a good. That's a good
I
question.
don't-
I
He
think he
might
would
not
have had
have.
to know the risk.
What'd you say?
He would have had to know the risk because I can only imagine that they would have spoken to him about like what the extreme outcome would have been
Yeah.
prior to him being terminated. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But if it was a different,
So I think at some point he would have known what the risks were for that.
I don't know, and not like I don't want nobody to come at me and kill me like I'm
They will.
1000%
They
Kaepernick.
will.
I'm 1000% Kaepernick. I have the jersey, like I illegally stream the NFL games in support of Kaepernick, like totally. But I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not he would have done it, like knowing that you would not have a job at all no more. Maybe he is that down for the cause that
Yeah.
he's willing to do it, but I just wonder about it sometimes, like.
I don't know. I think I don't think he did it impulsively. I think he did have some type of consult.
I think he wanted to get off the 49ers. I think he.
You think that
shit
was the
sinking
reason?
gas.
I
Not.
don't think so.
I think no. I think he was protesting, and his heart was in a good place. He absolutely meant it 1000%. He thought that would lead to him getting off. I think he
Yeah.
thought the backlash of that would be, the 49ers are gonna release me.
Then I'll go
a more
someplace else.
progressive team will pick me up. I didn't
Okay.
think they was all gonna be like, nah, fuck you altogether. You're done. You're never getting a job again.
I mean, and that's why I respect what he did so much because he took that risk, and I feel like NBA players they won't do that because they, they have this thought like I said, it's being comfortable. The
He was
athlete,
already in a unique place in his position in his career too, though, right?
yeah, he already,
And all the people already knew what he was capable of.
yeah,
Or from that, they were able to like discern what he was capable of, right?
yeah.
So I think all those things like played a factor. Like he probably was like, people know that like what I bring. So if I do get dropped, it is what it is. Hopefully somebody else picks me up. And then Trump got involved.
Fucking Trump. Fucking
Like,
45.
So y'all think
the
it's
dynamic of that conversation.
so you think had Trump not got involved, he would still have a job?
Oh, he would have got a job faster. I think Trump is the reason why he wasn't picked up faster.
Wait, faster? He wasn't picked up at
Trump
all. He's
Yeah, he didn't.
been
He's
picked
still
up
not been
since,
picked up.
He has
but
not
isn't
been.
he in the process of getting picked drafted?
No, hell
No,
no.
he's
That's
not
just
even
been
close.
He has
speculation.
not had a job
He's not
since
close.
then. He will never play in the NFL ever again. Forget about that. That ship has
I thought
sailed.
that there was someone who was about to pick him up.
No, nobody was.
It's all fake news for people to get clicks and shit. That's all that is.
Oh,
When they come out with that, oh, this team is looking at and it's kind of like a frat thing now, where none of the owners are gonna be down with him because some of them are against it.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. What up, Rain?
What up?
Yo,
What up, Rain?
What up?
So we were discussing actually, and we were actually, it was a good segue with the whole LeBron James comment, and we were just discussing Colin Kaepernick as far as like him being that athlete, taking that risk as far as his career as an athlete. And I'm just saying in regards to the NBA players now, they're too comfortable. Similar to the conversation we had a couple episodes ago as far as like the revolution and doing all that you can to take a stand. We don't have those type of athletes anymore. So it was just one of those things. So
Well, I have a question.
What's
Where
up?
are you guys as far as because I made a post about
we was just talking about that.
it,
Yeah.
and all these dudes came for me like the NBA is extremely different than the NFL, and I just chalk that up to like it's more lenient, but it's still, as far as his comment, he said that it's basically slave owners, and that's how they're treated. So I feel like, I mean, it's still slave owners that own the NBA. And then I just asked someone, like, how many. I know that there are several minor shareholders that are black, but who are the major black shareholders?
it's only Jordan, right?
Only Jordan.
Yeah.
Only NBA.
Right.
Jordan.
So essentially, I'm not knocking anyone, and I'm not trying to I just I brought up a situation, and everyone was like, but you guys can jog my memory. I recall because I had a show about this, and I'm like, during the Donald Sterling incident, I remember LeBron. They had a game right before that decision came out that Donald Sterling would be ousted. I just felt that they had an opportunity to show the world that they knew their worth. If we don't play, there's no game. I mean, there's no sport. I know it's drastic. I feel like, sometimes you gotta like take a stand. And I made that. I said that, and everyone was like, no, but they didn't play the game, and they got him out of there, and they got more done. But I just remember in that moment, that's cool. That's cute that they all came out with, I think, black shirts or some shit.
Yeah,
that was
they had
cool.
their shirts inside
Yeah,
out.
great. That's solidarity for the LA Clippers. But guess what? You still played the game. So I feel like it didn't go down in history. There was no real impact. Yeah, he was ousted, but I think he was going to be ousted anyway. They did stand tall, I guess, in that sense. But when I say stand tall, I'm thinking more like Kaepernick. I'm not saying like he's just an example. And I'm hearing different things with that too. Like I'm not gonna like go backwards, but I don't know. Y'all probably touched on that as far as how he got there, because some people are saying that it was more so about him being unhappy as an athlete and not necessarily about taking a stand.
Well, it was to your point. You mentioned that he was unhappy with his situation with the 49ers.
Yeah,
So maybe that correlates to that point.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get out of there. I don't know if hindsight, if he would have knew, I'm never going to get picked up by a team ever, would he have done it? I think his heart was 1,000% in the right place. He felt like, I need to use my platform to protest. But I would love to be able to see, like, if you could do it all over again, would you do it knowing you're never going to get a job? Because, like, Cap had money, but this next contract that he was about to get was going to be his big deal. That was going to be like
security
50,
blanket.
$60 million.
Guaranteed.
Like, he didn't get that. So, like, of course he has money, but
So how did it come to about being to take a stand for the cause? Like, how did the need turn into the cause then? If it was more so, because I just want to be educated too.
Yeah.
Like, everyone goes to him, and he's become this symbol,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what happens about history. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a mindset. I think that we are divided always as a people. So when this topic came up, it shows me the mindset. But I'm not like getting at people anymore. If that's how you feel, then cool. You know what I mean? But if you can't see the mindset just to like. Somebody told me today, like, oh, they're playing the sport. They're not playing basketball to make history. Really? Oh, okay. Like, because I was saying that they could have had an impact on young boys and made history. It would have went down in history. LeBron James stood out a game. You know, he got fined.
Mad people aren't though. Like that's real shit.
That's
And
what I'm
that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
But that's what I'm trying to say. So why is there an attack, and what is this like separation in mindset that I get it and I can respect it, but this is the whole thing. Colin Kaepernick, regardless if it was for the cause or not, he's going down in history as someone who stood for the cause.
Definitely.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Why not someone like LeBron? I'm not knocking him, and I realize that a lot of black men really love LeBron. Hey, I love LeBron too, right? They made it more about
I
that.
wish I had the sound effect. I would have been like, Bumbaclot.
No, they love him, and I get it.
Right.
Because even my boy, who's one of the most conscious dudes ever, he got at me. He's like, "Oh, you're bugging." About I'm like, this is not an attack on LeBron. This is just me saying that I remember watching the game, and I'm watching like, damn, what if they would have just said, yo, I'm not gonna play today? Like, show my worth. You don't have a sport without the team, yo. You get fined for bullshit on and off the court. You can't get a fine for just saying I'm not gonna fucking play.
Because
Depends on the person.
Yeah, it also depends on the person. But now everything
But
is
what-
about
but-
branding.
It wasn't one person.
You know
But
what I'm saying? It's
but
branded.
they get fined off and on the court for bullshit.
Yeah.
So you just can't just take the
It's that
stand.
personal, it's that person's decision.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, I'm gonna take this stand.
Right.
I don't care what's gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me. It's about this. That's what Kaepernick did, and that's what he continued to say. And that's what he continues to say.
Right.
Like that's his value. That's his beliefs.
And I'm just asking for one game. I'm not
Yeah.
asking for them to sit out the whole season, but one game would have showed the world like we know our worth.
Because real shit, Kaepernick was the sacrificial lamb.
Right.
Kaepernick was.
Somebody
They
has to
showed
do that.
everybody, yo, y'all pull this shit, you will never have a job again. And he is more than talented. He's better than some starting quarterbacks right now.
You're right.
You will have the
It's
talent.
a
to
scare
be here.
tactic.
But
Yeah.
you do this shit,
that's what
we'll
they did.
never
But
let you the fuck back in. And the rest of them are like,
would they have
oh,
done that
shit.
to LeBron
That's the
though?
thing.
That's the question.
I
They
said
wouldn't have done it to
beforehand,
They
him.
wouldn't have
can't.
done
They
it.
can't.
Like, you know your
can't.
power, dude. Like, you are the man. Clearly, you're the man because all these dudes came for my neck today. Like,
You hear that, Q?
LeBron does what he wants. LeBron does what he wants. Oh, he does what he wants, does he? So how come he just couldn't say, I'm not going to play the game?
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
The motherfucker held a press conference to fucking announce what team he's gonna go to. You mean to fucking tell me he can't sit out a game? We talking about a game, not a game.
Yeah, like
what?
But that's like his last press conference.
Damn, I wish I had the
He
damn
said,
Russell Westbrook. Damn.
He said, "I know the rules, so I know what to say."
Who, Braun said that?
Yeah, after the after Friday night,
He
said that.
plays by the
He's
rules,
real
yo.
smart.
Oh,
he,
yeah,
knows,
yeah, yeah.
he knows the rules.
Hell yeah.
But I think the decision for them to still play was a league decision as well. Because at the time, I believe Chris Paul was the head of the Players Association.
I think he still is.
I think he probably still is. But I think they all before that.
No, they did. They
all
came together.
and said like, "What we gonna do?"
Right. But see, I was just saying,
Yeah, why- but,
the revolution in me is like, if
why
y'all all
didn't-
came together, let's come together and say, we're not going to play.
So they went by majority rules. That's what
But
I'm
I don't
thinking.
think
And they
there was
that's
a
what I'm
minor rule. I don't think a minority said let's not play. I don't think nobody in that room said let's not play.
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Nah.
That's
think
what's
it's-
upsetting to me. That's all I was trying to express.
Yeah.
That's upsetting as a black person watching, and then just thinking about little black boys. Like, you could stand tall right now for some young men to see, like, yo, LeBron stood tall. LeBron didn't play the game. One game?
their
It wasn't a playoff
Because
game.
when you think about it, there's kids in Little League football taking a knee. There's
Yeah.
cheerleaders taking a knee.
They're watching.
They do. Regardless if you think about it or not, they do watch.
Everybody ain't built from that
Exactly.
cloth. It's Abdul Rauf's. It's one Abdul Rauf.
Right. He came
And,
up.
Yeah, like it's only one of those in generations. Like you're not even gonna get one every generation. There's gonna be like one
Every
here,
other.
then 3 generations
That's
later
sad
it's gonna
to
be
me.
one. Like
Yeah, because before Abdul Rauf, it was Kareem.
that's what I'm saying. And there's a couple like
That
there's
was
people
what?
that's gonna really step up, and
70s?
everybody else is
I
gonna be
always
like, yo,
bring up Kareem and I bring up my man Ali.
yep.
And
You know what I'm saying?
Because it stated like now the
Jordan started the freaking downfall of that bullshit. Like Jordan started to like I don't care about
Rain?
oh boy.
Sorry.
Oh, now you want to
Say that
speak.
again, Rain? What you say?
I'm
Now
saying
you wanna
Jordan kind of Jordan to me was the next generation kind of like, or like at the same time, or you know, after Kareem, Jordan was the big star, right?
yeah.
And I'm saying Jordan never stood tall for black people.
Magic.
Magic was there too.
No, Magic was there, but I'm saying Jordan. Yeah, Magic too. Now Magic, I don't think
I think Magic
ever,
gets the cop out because of the sickness.
the
really.
sickness. We
Everybody's
don't
not
really because
like,
he
got his own.
his
battles to
time was
fight.
ended short quickly. So Jordan is the standout from that generation. I'm saying, you know, and he never stood tall.
He's a different type of person.
Yeah.
That's
Say
what
it
it
again, Rain.
that's what it boils down to.
Keep
He's
quiet.
a different type of person.
But that's what I hate about us. It's like, damn, I know we all think differently, but can't we just get on one accord for something?
I think if Jordan was
You know
out
what I'm
now,
saying?
he would have said something though. It wasn't like he operates in a different climate. It's beneficial for LeBron to reach out and stand up because then the community is going to support him more. Like I think if Jordan was around now, his PR team would be like, yo, you got to say something. Whether or not it was genuine or not, they would be like, yo. Because like you said, LeBron said all
Why
that shit,
does
but
his
did he not
PR
play the
team
game?
have to
That motherfucker
advise
played.
him? Played the
You know what I'm
game.
saying? Like, and not
Why
to say
does
that
his
it's not
PR team
genuine.
have to advise him to speak up?
And I
Why
hate-
would his
go ahead.
PR team have to
I
advise
think
him
LeBron's
to-
PR team advised him to speak up. I don't
Hell
think he was
yeah.
like, yo, I'm super Black Panther and we're going to do it. His PR team's like, yo, for your public image, you need to come out and say something.
I think he has a genuine
We
feel
pay our
towards
public
what's going on.
relations people. Like it doesn't matter. Like LeBron and Jordan paid those people. So I don't regardless, their persons, who they are, dictates the relationship that they have with those people and what it is that they're pushing those people to like have them stand in front of. So like I hear that, but like really and truly, like I think it ultimately like boils down to the person who's paying the penny. And he didn't do shit. He did not do enough, you guys. Like
I mean,
and
LeBron
Nobody-
has way
people
more
love
bread
him.
than Jordan
I
had
bought a
at
pair
that
of Jordans
time.
or two in my day.
They just
Like,
they different
God be the
people.
glory to him,
End
but
of
he
the
just
day.
didn't do enough for the culture.
But y'all keep saying like he didn't do enough. Nobody's ever gonna do enough. There's always more. Like y'all made that very clear to
That's
me. But wait,
true.
y'all made that clear.
McCray.
Let me just finish my thought.
McCray.
I know you're an antique, but let me just finish my thought. So, but my whole
bad,
thing
go
is,
ahead.
y'all said the same thing with me with Barack Obama. He wasn't given that, you know, he wasn't able to do that, whatever the case is. Y'all gave the same case to me with Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned it for the fourth fucking time in the show. Right? It's just a matter of like, okay, there's a bunch of things that they've done to I guess uplift or to move, you know, the culture of black people. We may not know about it. For example, Jordan, which I didn't know about this until like years later. He helped fund the Malcolm X movie with Spike Lee when he
Yeah.
had all those doors closed. Nobody was trying to fund that movie.
Word.
He was one of those people
Oh,
to
let's
help
clap
fund
it
that
up
movie.
for Jordan.
Thank you.
Let's clap it up for
No,
Jordan.
no. I'm just saying. No, I mean, I say that to say like, come on, like, there's a bunch of shit.
No,
like,
he probably has done. He's stereotyped for one. For
He
two,
is.
for years, we all thought that he was a majority owner of the prison system.
yeah, and there
we
was
found-
another
We didn't
one.
find out until more recently in the past
was
couple
a
of
lie.
years that it's
He
not
was
really him.
There's a white man.
We already
named Michael Jordan.
associated him with. Right?
He's a white.
Yeah.
We already associated him with like no,
Yeah.
you know. Also because of him having those shoes and our era, kids killing kids for
Is
Jordan.
he responsible for
He's
that,
not
though?
responsible
Like,
for
I
that.
don't think we can put that onus on him.
The onus is on the companies, right? But I do
Is
feel
it even on them? Because we acting like
the
fucking
price
fools
point.
over
No, the
shoes.
price point. It was the issue.
Oh,
But
They
there's
were
shoes
not
that cost
affordable.
$3,000. Like everybody's rocking Margellas and all this
It's a
shit.
different
Like,
era. That's
Now,
a different
that
era.
era, we were killing
different era.
people. Kids were killing
Dudes,
each other for
dudes
Jordan.
was
They
giving it up.
they were shooting niggas for
Giving it up.
it
Jordan.
still happens, but when I don't know, like,
He,
is the
he
company
had power to
responsible
reduce
because
the price
we?
point.
The price?
The price
Yeah,
point
the
is
price
the
point was
issue.
the
That's
price
the
point was
issue.
the-
They're
that's
too
why Steph-
expensive.
That's why Steph got railroaded out the league.
LeBron's cost like $220.
Yeah, they cost
No,
the same
now
amount.
we talking
It's
about
not
the
a di-
80s.
It's a different dude.
The 80s?
I mean, 90s.
Standing around
The
And,
90s?
and let's not
Nah.
Dudes don't
misconstrue
stand
the
around the
thing.
corner for LeBron.
Jordan was the front person.
At all.
Nike
We used
was
to
the
back in
person
the
that
days,
did
the
the
old
business.
colorways, but not
Jordan didn't dictate price point.
He didn't.
Jordan didn't go into a meeting and say these
I'm
need to
saying,
cost $100.
They need to-
no,
That's-
that was
yo,
the,
you're the front person. We're gonna put you on a poster. Wear these shits. We're
what-
deciding all
no,
the business shit about
what
it.
we're saying is knowing The kids are dying over these shoes.
He said nothing about
Yeah,
that. Yo.
they say something about it.
They were
like
dying.
Damian Lillard dropped the price point of his shoe because he's like,
Ain't
yo, I
nobody
don't want
killing
kids.
nobody over no names.
But I'm saying
Killing over
about.
them dames.
I'm saying he was vocal about the price point of his shoe because he didn't want people paying. He didn't
And
want
that's
people.
the issue, the price point.
But let's just be real. Nike,
Black
Adidas,
kids were killing kids for sneakers because they could not afford them.
But Nike, Adidas, like, come on now.
No,
I mean,
What?
No,
We're talking about a different era, the Jordan era.
but you mentioned Damian Lillard, so that's why I'm saying, like, come on, Nike.
I'm
Ain't
just
nobody
saying-
killing nobody
I'm just-
for no dames.
I'm just saying
Adidas is
the price
equivalent
point.
right now,
I'm talking about
2018.
I'm talking about just strictly price point.
But Michael Jordan doesn't dictate the price.
But
point of
he could have
Jordan.
could have spoke out.
He could have affected our son. I remember having my ones. I couldn't leave the house with them shits unless it was a family function. With them bread
It was
ones,
serious
they first
at one.
dropped,
It was
nigga, I
like
couldn't wear
8-ball
them out the
jackets.
crib.
Kids was really shooting kids for Jordans, yo.
Yeah, no,
So
true.
I couldn't-
Across the United, not just New York,
But it's
across the
the-
United States.
Okay.
Michael Jordan he had an obligation to make a statement about that shit. Like that was before I moved to America. Those are the stories that I was hearing about people in Jordan.
I've never heard
and we
that
sat
story.
down there and said that he don't
About
Son.
kids, you never heard what story?
That's bullshit.
I've never heard a story when I was young, coming up, like
About
people were
kids
kids were
over
killing kids
Jordan?
over Jordan.
Son.
I've
What?
never heard that.
You
joke.
fucking wrong. You never heard that?
Son.
I've heard.
No, that was-
It was no. Hit me out. It wasn't Jordans.
It was a
I-
different
It was
way.
just
it was shoes.
Shoes,
I
but
like
Jordans-
Air Maxes.
But Jordan,
People-
you had a target on your
Air
back.
Maxes.
Yeah.
In 95s, yeah, son. Like,
Jordan just happened to
I
be
don't
the most
know.
expensive
One-
shoes.
Jordans,
The
it was
green
Jordans
ones?
and 8-balls. I never had no issue rocking no
8
Air
balls.
Max.
No
it was
face.
Jordans
It was
and
sneaker-
8-balls,
people was
B.
killing
It was a
people
lot
with
of
no face.
sneakers, but they was killing for
JanSports
8-ball
Springs.
jackets
Jordan
and
ones.
marmots. They was killing for
Everything, Timberlands, like so.
Yeah.
You want everybody from every for the
No.
face of every company to say,
the
listen,
black
bro, stop
faces.
shoot-
Yes, the
Don't
black
have
faces.
money.
Yes.
So
No,
people get
that
killed
was-
for money.
No.
The black faces, you from the hood, dude. How can that's like you get to a certain point in your life, right? And you become the face of whatever, and kids start killing. It would be real fucked up if you get to that point and you just don't say shit. You just like, I'm
I
just
don't know
going.
if I'm willing to blame Jordan for
I
us.
can't
Not
blame
blame.
Jordan.
No, we're not
I'm not
blaming
blaming
him. We're saying
him.
he should've
He
said
didn't
something.
say nothing.
He should have said
What,
something.
what
'Cause-
say what though? Yo, y'all stop killing y'all. Niggas ain't go back.
Hey.
Yo, Jordan said
Say
stop killing. So we
something.
gonna stop robbing.
No.
So
he
he does. So if he says something
Y'all,
and it keeps
this is how
going,
y'all are though. Y'all don't have no connection. Y'all feel like it's okay not to say shit.
no, that's not true. I just want to
Same
know.
different
That's
topic
not
last
true,
week.
because
the
Yeah.
same
I just
thing.
want to know more or less like what would that have? What do you think that would have done? What effect do you think that would have made?
I think association of the face and the superstar because he's emulated by kids worldwide still to this day.
Yes, of course.
Just him acknowledging that something is going on and that he does not approve of it.
You
It
think
does
that's willing
something.
To change somebody that
It does.
is-
It's
is
not about the
crazy enough
change.
To kill
It's just
somebody over shoes. Like I feel like
No,
you kind
not
of
that.
a
But
lost cause. That like,
but no. What she's saying is it'll bring a pause or a thought moment. Like, yo, wait, he does know this is going on.
you
or like
think
say-
that
He
somebody
acted
that's out there
oblivious.
killing people for
No,
shoes is
I'm not
going
gonna
to
say they're
stop
going.
them?
No, I'm
I
not
feel
gonna
like
say he's
they
going to
lost
stop them.
already. You
But that's
gone.
like, let me try to think of an example that's parallel to it.
To act oblivious.
I don't think he acted oblivious.
He
to
did
it.
act
I
oblivious.
need to. I
he
need
didn't
to
say
look
nothing
that
for
up.
10,
He didn't say
15
nothing.
years. He never said
He
nothing.
still hasn't said anything
He still
to this
hasn't
day.
said nothing.
Sorry, he still hasn't said anything to this day.
And now he just making his whack ass Jordan brand joints. He's still just getting money off the brand, and people are still going crazy off of Jordans. I'm not knocking it,
And
but it's like,
again, remember,
damn,
it's
dude.
really not him. That's Nike. That's like, yo, we gave you an X amount of check to be the front person for this. Like, he has
But
no
it's a Jordan.
business
It's
dealings.
him
Like,
though.
it's
That's
just
his
like-
logo.
Son, he still
That's
get that
him.
bread
It
off
is.
of them releases, son.
Oh, absolutely, he makes bread off of it, but
No,
he's not pulling the
makes
strings
three-
and dictating
He
the
could,
price
though.
points. And
If he
Yes, he is. His
if he
name
was
is
more
on
like
that.
like
Michael Jordan don't got more
LeBron,
money
he
than Phil
could.
Knight, man. Michael
not.
Jordan don't got more
He
money
not.
than Phil Knight, man. Like it's like it's
But
levels
he could
to this
say,
shit.
he could be like, yo,
He got bosses too.
But
Michael
he could be
Jordan
like, yo,
got
He can
Make
voice
bosses, man.
concern.
he could be like, yo,
yo.
make more pairs so this shit don't happen. He
Can
could.
he though?
Hell yeah.
Yes, that's his logo.
He
Yeah,
owns it
but
now.
yo.
He owns the logo.
He owns it.
He
Then
bought that years ago.
but he
Still
also
Nike,
owns
though.
Jordan Brand.
Right. He could
Yeah, he
affect.
does, but it's still distributed through Nike. Like Nike gets
That's
more
just
of
a
a percentage.
That's like you
off
being an
Jordan.
artist and you got distribution through Sony.
Nah, but it's a different situation because they still make more money off the shooting Jordan. They still have more.
The
of
same
a
way
dictation.
the same way the distributor probably makes more money than you
course,
do.
of course.
But I'm saying you have a say to you're attached to your product. You can say something. It doesn't mean it has to be. It's gonna land. It's just letting people know, hey, at least I care about
basically, so railroad the success of your product. Because a couple people are fools. No,
they're still gonna sell.
If they're not. If Jordans are $60, they're not the same as the way they are, bro. If they're accessible to everybody in 60, it's not. It's not the same shoe. That changes the entire dynamic of the shoe, bro.
Son, the shoe shouldn't be. The shoe should still be $1. $1.20 at the most.
$1.
Keep it real,
man.
You're bugging.
Nothing that was $100 in the '90s is still $100 now, bro.
Not at all.
The Jordan sneaker was $150. B. That's what it was back then.
I remember the first concourse when it was $150, and Dad was beefing crazy, like, "Yo, $100 for shoes." But that was $95.
Now they close to like $300.
Is what but that was $95.
They shouldn't be $3.
But the whole point. But I think to bring it back full circle, I feel like with MJ. You guys all raised, Rain, you raised a great point as far as like at least speaking up for black people to the situation because he is that face for us. I get that. I just think, now I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, I get it, and even today, Kanye didn't reduce his, price
his
point.
His shits cost a fucking mortgage.
Yeah,
no, but retail they cost what?
But he's high. No.
They cost regular.
That's limited. That was limited time. Them shits are back at like $400, $500.
No, the Frozens just dropped. They $2. They $220.
What the fuck is a Frozen?
The
neon green ones.
The neon green 750s. 350s.
I'm out the loop. I don't know.
It don't matter. I'm just saying that I feel like black people should just have some allegiance to black people still when you get to a certain level.
I feel you on that.
Maybe because I'm not there, people might say I'm disconnected from that. I'm connected to the culture. The culture says like, damn, acknowledge us.
Yeah.
You're eating off of us. Acknowledge us.
Go ahead, Q.
Someone might say to that, Rain, that like once people move beyond that, because I was sitting down here looking up where Jordan gives his money.
Of course you were.
Apparently the other day he gave some of his money to go to redeveloping a golf course so that it was easier for him to play quickly.
Why
on the golf
can't he
course.
spend some of his bread on his fucking life?
Yo, let Q have her moment. Let her have her moment. Give her a moment, please.
I'm saying is that what he also has is that I'm not saying that he shouldn't be able to do that. Like, you work hard for your money, do what you want to do with it. But what I'm saying is you also have the ability to world travel. So even if you're disconnected from the culture, even if golf is your thing now, once upon a time it wasn't, and you can go back to where you were to try and figure out what that was and stay connected.
He's still connected.
He does mad shit for North Carolina.
You also have a responsibility to do that.
He does mad shit for North Carolina. Like, the damn near the whole state was built up by Mike. That's where he's from. Like,
but I get it, Q. You need him to do more. We need him to do more. We need LeBron to do more. We need to match him up, right?
Yep.
He needs to open up a school.
He needs to. It's not about opening up a school. It's about having a voice and letting people know where you stand on certain things, because you can influence other people to like do the same thing. I agree with that.
That's it. I think LeBron does that to a degree. I'm not knocking that. I was just saying
he does it. It's more visual.
It's more visual.
It's way more visual.
I give him credit for that.
And that's why social media age is strategic for him to do.
And I think it's two different times, like Carnegie said, because I feel like if MJ came up around the time where social media was booming, where everything that you did was pretty much there to be broadcast, I feel like MJ would have done that too. If you look at his marketing, I think so. If you look at his marketing, it would have been. It would have been times 50. So it's
way more than that.
In
this day and age.
Yeah.
If you hear the backstories, Michael Jordan did everything that his advisors told him, business-wise. He had a team. He wasn't that savvy. If you look at early Michael Jordan in the 80s, even his interviews were they put him in media training for him to learn how to talk and be more polished. Everything that his advisors and his team told him to do, he was like, yes. Y'all took me from North Carolina to not having nothing and having X amount of millions. Whatever y'all do. Yup. So if he was coming up now in 2018.
That's true, too.
What?
That's true, too. Because all of LeBron's advisors are his boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he operates in a different climate. If Jordan, what I'm saying is, if Jordan was maneuvering now, his team would be like, "Yo, you gotta say something on social media. You gotta do this because He would be like, "Okay,
Jordan's media advisors Jordan's advisors were all about the bag.
Yeah, all about
Get
the bag.
your money.
Yo, don't fuck up this money, son.
And you think LeBron's advisors ain't all about the bag?
Hell yeah, they are.
They all about that bag.
It's convenient for him to be saying this shit all about it. Hell yeah, absolutely, bro.
Because
Go ahead,
saying
Q.
that Jordan only did what his advisors told him to do makes it seem like homie don't have a brain for himself, or he didn't have a stance for himself. And that goes back to the original point. It's not about like it's really about like what are your values, Michael Jordan?
I mean, my expertise is
can't we see them
basketball.
come
I will
across in
take a
what you do?
back seat to the people that are professionals at
Yeah.
doing these kind of things.
And,
Like,
but these people
You don't
look
gotta be
different than
professional
you.
to be. You from
You have a
the back,
responsibility to
the
figure-
back blocks of North Carolina. You know
But
what
you-
I'm saying? You
he
need a
don't know
connection to
shit.
the people.
He don't
No,
know
he's
shit.
black.
But
He's
the
a-
thing, but
like,
the thing is too, and they both in earlier on in their
man.
careers, they both made those type of rookie mistakes. Like even with LeBron, even though he had his crew, they both had those moments where they can attest that it was like we shouldn't have done that. Like that whole press conference thing, that shouldn't have happened, but it happened. Jordan had to, he had to go through that. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not.
It was at
At this point, I'm like to each his own, man.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just working to get to a certain point so that I can do what the hell I want to do for the people.
I can dig it. But, I mean, with LeBron and what he stated on his show, I just think, to speak to that, I just think that they're two different leagues, of course. However, with the NBA, they still have their restrictions. Like, you can't protest during the national anthem. You know what I'm saying? If you do, you'll get a hefty fine. And
Abdul Rauf used to
exactly.
do this
Yes, I
during
can.
the
So then I
national
can
anthem.
walk in the back.
Or as
I don't need to be out there while y'all saying that shit.
or as Adam Silver said, they'll be dealt with accordingly. Right? So,
Like how is it okay to take away people's civil rights?
hey.
That's
For a
why.
company,
That's
like,
why I
that's
said what I
bullshit to me.
said about the NBA.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to go in on that because I was reading all the comments on RAINE's post about that. These dudes are just one-sided and just mainly
They
LeBron.
love basketball,
yeah,
yo.
But
That's
it's
all,
like,
that's all it's about.
but it's just like at the same time, man,
They
they
could be
could have
wrong.
done more.
Yeah, they definitely could have.
They could do more.
Nobody-
They could have done more,
Like what?
and it was the perfect time. It was during the playoffs. What better time? That was
That
actually
was-
during the playoffs.
Oh, it was during the playoffs.
It was during the playoffs. That was when the Clippers.
was a
were-
playoff.
They were playing against the
Open
Warriors.
round.
They were playing against the Warriors.
Really?
When that
Yeah.
happened. Yep, 2014.
Yeah,
But
I remember
but
that.
LeBron had the game, is what I was saying. It
They all
wasn't-
had the game, but Donald Sterling, the Clippers were playing, and I felt like during that time, I was like, "Oh shit!"
But
Blake
when,
Griffin, they not
but
playing.
when was it?
Yeah, had they
No,
not
but
played the
but
playoff game,
everyone
it
made
would've
it
been crazy.
seem like they didn't play until he was ousted. Is that true?
Nah.
Nah,
That's not true.
Nobody
That's not
That's
true.
what I'm saying.
nobody
People
missed any games.
Nobody missed the game. They
That's
all
what
just.
I
they all
know.
just
See,
stood
they
up.
start fucking with my
What
head.
they did was they just wore their warm-up shirts inside out.
And then the other teams wore. Then the other, but then,
Yeah,
but
but then
other
the
teams
Warriors.
wore like something else. I think.
Yeah, the Warriors did something else, but at the same
Do you
time,
know
it's
how many
like-
comments said
I
that
read
they
them.
actually
I read them.
did not play the game
I read
until
them.
he got ousted? I'm like, that's
If
not
that
true.
would have happened,
Nobody-
nobody
Nobody was.
Yo,
Nobody sat. They,
Yo.
I don't
Nobody
know what
sat.
they were watching. They were bugging.
nobody
Yo.
said.
You would have left sooner. The board wouldn't have stood for that.
Nah, the Clippers, they wouldn't have.
Everybody is saying that nobody played until he left. That is not
No.
true.
That's not true.
I had a
missed
big
any
ass
games.
debate about this
Yeah,
when it happened.
They would have been at the exact offices in downtown. I mean,
Yeah.
in the city. The next day,
yeah.
they would have been there saying like, "Yo, what the."
Nah,
Right.
They would have got him out then.
Yeah.
The next day, they would have got him out.
They did not
They
stand
played.
tall. That's what I said.
They
Nobody
played.
was
Blake
All right,
Griffin
let's just
played.
Get off it, man. People start rewriting history in this era. That's what they do.
Nah, they
like that didn't
definitely
happen.
played.
This happened.
I remember that shit. And I remember watching that shit. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
they fucking stupid. And that's what made me reference the $40 Million Slave by William Rodden. Like, that right there is just like, yo, what the
is
fuck
that?
are y'all doing? It's this great book, man. He's actually used to be on ESPN a lot. And he wrote this book. It was actually motivated by Larry Johnson during the 1999 NBA playoffs. And you know Larry Johnson, he signed like that big ass like contract with the Knicks.
Yeah.
And then some dude in the stands in Madison Square Garden, he was like, "Yo, Larry, you know you're nothing but a $40 million slave." And then he looked at him, and then that's when the whole thing spiraled. And it just came from. It's a great book. It just goes back from what's his name, Jack Johnson. The
It's focused on all sports.
all sports. Talks about how he was. Yep, exactly. He was like the first. He was the first African American heavyweight. And the
Jack
thing,
Johnson, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. It also breaks down like the African American athlete, whereas what we have to overcome is different than our white counterparts.
Of course.
We're going through, as far as like the environment that we've come from, but you're expecting us to know all these things as far
But
as
what do
like
you mean about the auction? Not the auction, but what's it called?
the $40 million.
No, the process that still goes on in 2018.
Oh, I know what you mean.
It's
So-
all like the
Where-
combine.
Yeah, the combine where-
Where they like half
Football
naked
is
and
like
they
that.
Football.
does
Football is
that.
definitely like that. I'm like, yo, there was like a
Yeah,
a
they
side-
measure
a side-
their arm.
yeah.
They measure their arm length. They measure their height.
Which
they
is
measure
a
their-
slippery slope because this is a sport. So your physique
width.
But if
definition
it
true, but it's so-
sounds
it's
like
so
a
parallel.
fucking duck.
It
It's
looks
so
crazy.
parallel,
It's a bunch of
scary.
old
It's
ass
a
white men
fucking
standing
duck.
around with young black dudes with their shirt off, jumping and running. Of course, but these are athletics. Like your athleticism means a lot.
But-
yeah, it is, but it's like there's so many.
How fast you run, how high you jump.
But the
means a
parallel
lot.
is
I
un-
mean, are
the-
they
Just
white?
like-
Are they're white athletes
White
who do the
people
same
do
thing?
absolutely,
Too.
but the
That's true.
NFL is what 85% black. So like
The parallels
you
uncanny,
want to see the
though.
black dudes doing it. You don't want to
The
see the white dudes
parallel
running
is
for it.
It's way too
uncanny.
much. Like they're in a room, cameras.
Yeah.
It's
But there's pictures of Tom Brady with his fucking with his no
Yeah,
ass
with the-
body
with
with
the
the shirt
dad
off
bod,
when he had to
with the
do
dad
that
bod.
shit,
He
taking
ran the
pictures and all that.
9.440.
It's just nobody watches that shit. Yeah, because it's not exciting.
Like
Like watch
double
the
up
fucking
against-
black dudes
But
because
the thing is, though, with African American athletes in the NFL, they held at a different standard than the white
Oh, yeah, of
counterparts.
course.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that there's more white quarterbacks than there are black quarterbacks and things like that, where the black quarterbacks are just as talented, if not more talented than the white
They say they don't
counterparts.
have the mental capacity.
They don't have the mental capacity. So it's just
bullshit.
they're measured at a different metric, as Q would say.
when we visit this,
Comparison
we'll revisit this 10 years from now. And I hate to be racist or anything, but the white quarterback is about to
Yes,
be
yeah,
obsolete.
it's yeah.
Like the way the NFL is going.
You said 10 years from now. The funny shit is, my dad said that 10 years ago.
Absolutely, and we're
No,
moving
but
more in that
it's-
direction.
it's fading
10
out,
years
though.
from now, 10 years, there were more white quarterbacks 10 years ago than there are now. Brady's on his way out. Manning's on his way out. Roethlisberger's
Well,
on
Manning's
his way
been
out.
on it.
Breeze. I'm talking about Eli. Like, all of that shit is done.
But think about
that
all the
statue
new-
quarterback shit, that shit is out of here. If you can't run, if you ain't got a 4.5, 4.6,
It's
you can't play
changing.
quarterback no
It's
more.
changing, but here's the
Yeah.
thing: like they'll
No,
they'll
you gotta-
find a way.
Nah.
They'll find
No,
a
the fuck
way.
they
You
won't.
got evolve or die. It's
Yeah,
basic
when
science.
white boys can run like that,
Evolve or
you better
die.
be getting Christian McCaffrey.
That's what I'm saying.
Quarterbacks, because that shit, they just not going to survive no more.
Think
The
of the
linemen are
NBA.
running 4.4s.
Think of the
I
NBA.
understand the NBA.
Same thing.
I get that, but I mean, I just don't buy the fact that the NFL, they're just stubborn in their ways. You know, if you got owners like, you know,
They trying to win and make
They
money.
trying to win, dog.
They trying to win and
They-
make money.
Green trumps black and white, baby. In every situation.
you said green trumps black. I don't
green
think
trumps
so.
black and
Heck
white. Yes,
yeah,
the
what you
fuck it
mean?
do.
I don't know. Maybe
Black
I'm
and
thinking
white
of it
definitely
differently.
matters.
That
but
all falls
green
back on
trumps all of
Kaepernick.
that.
Affects the bottom line.
Bottom line is the bottom line, dog. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
I mean, I see that in that regard. I
Nah,
see that.
there'll definitely be way more black quarterbacks in the league. Just look at college.
I mean, there'll be way more black quarterbacks, but here's the thing: will they be playing? Will there
Yes.
be?
Hell
Will they,
yeah.
I hope so.
Name me a young white
I hope
quarterback
so.
that's going to be playing 5 years from now. Think about it.
I
All the
hope
white
so.
quarterbacks you talking about are all the young guys,
Well,
Cam,
you got what you
Russell
call it?
Wilson. You got Luck. That's it.
Nah, you gotMayfield.
You got Mayfield. You
Yeah,
got
you got,
Garoppolo. You got
what's his name?
whoever the Buffalo
the
Bills
Jets.
get.
Bro, and the 3 of the people that y'all just named could not even have a job 2 years from now, bro. Baker Mayfield's looking okay right now, bro. But the Browns can do what the Browns do next year, and 2 years from now, Baker Mayfield not even be in the league. Now, let me go name Pat Mahomes, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. You can go on and on and on and on and on. All,
Yeah, they
all
gotta
the next
evolve.
gen quarterbacks are gonna
I mean,
be
I
black,
hope
bro.
you're right. I hope you're right.
Offensive line is always going to be white boys because
I hope you're right.
they big and fat.
Not now. Like you got
Yeah, you got the
black
O-line,
dudes
man.
6'9",
Tyron
340
Smith and
running a
shit.
4.5.
I hope you're right. Hope you guys are right, man. But I mean, the NFL is just, I don't know, with sports in general, man. As far as professional sports, I should say, I haven't been tuning in as much because it's just, I don't know, it's not passion. There's always
Yeah, it's
and
not
there's
different.
issues like this, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't know, it's not a great example, especially to our kids nowadays, you know. And and being in education, I see that, you know what I mean? And it's not conducive to their, you know, how do I say, their growth, you know. So when I see athletes like LeBron James, and then also, I don't know if you guys tune into this dude, but he's fucking entertaining. Stephon Marbury.
Oh yeah, I've been following him on Instagram.
He keeps-
Son, he been
following
airing
Yo,
him.
Rain.
He airs out Braun every day.
You have to. Yes.
every day.
Yo. And it's like
Religiously every day
he
now
makes
at this
some
point.
valid points. Some valid points, and I use that word valid points very loosely when it comes to Stephon Marbury, but
His view of reality is a bit skewed.
because you know what? He's been in the spotlight since he was, 13, 14 years old.
Yeah,
So, of course, it's going to be skewed.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But it's just a matter of some of the points that he's made was very valid as far as, like, LeBron James and how he goes with his business and in correlation to his basketball career. It makes sense. Like, you know,
Sounds a little bit salty.
But is it valid from his standpoint since he never really he was that guy, but he kind of had his.
I
He
feel
never
like
LeBron.
the NBA did with him what they did with
Yeah.
Allen Iverson, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
They couldn't control him, so they pretty much sent them away. In my
Which is
opinion,
why, like, and they make examples of people in
Very
all of
much
these
so.
leagues, which
Yeah.
is why
Very
we,
much
you know,
so.
we like, yo, they should have did this, they should have did that, but
Nobody know that's
people
why,
look and
right?
be like, yo, damn, he
Hell.
didn't even do shit.
Hence
They
the
got
reason why
him the
LeBron
fuck
plays
up
it
out of
safe.
there. Like, that's what I'm saying.
he plays it
Everybody
super
plays it
fucking safe.
Yeah.
Super
Though
fucking
though
safe.
he gets credit, and I will give him credit for doing what he can do within his means. That's what he's doing. So, because all the examples that came out, yeah, he did. I'm not trying to like make it seem low, but yeah, he did kind of like stand tall, and he did effect change within the NBA where it is seemingly more lenient. But that's all it is. It's like it's more lenient.
It's
It's
a
not
cupcake
necessarily.
The
But-
individuals have more power in the NBA.
It's
There's
about as
there's
sweet
a
as my
53
vanilla chai that I just had.
It's a 53-man roster in the NFL. So if you don't go along with the group, you know, or the scheme or the game plan, it will take you out and replace you easily. There's only 12 people on the NBA roster, only 5 people on the court. So one person is way more significant. So you know what I'm saying? You can't just if LeBron gets into some domestic violence shit, they can't just be, oh, we cutting LeBron. They're gonna be like, oh nah, shit. We'll suspend this motherfucker for a couple of games, but we ain't cutting him.
And to me,
'cause-
that's all the more reason to stand tall.
yeah. Because
It's all the more reasons to say, you know what, you
agree.
guys, y'all can go ahead and play because I know y'all
I'm not
can't
playing.
afford to take this. I'm gonna do this.
I could afford to.
I can do
could
it.
afford I have
Yeah.
a lifetime deal with Nike.
Right. I can not work for one day. Just one game.
For a
which
week.
they would
So you
probably
gotta work
void.
for a
He
week.
can do that shit for a month if he
but I
wanted
know,
to.
but
Exactly.
I was just saying, damn, one
Bumba
game. One game would have went down in history.
Or if every star on every team.
And I feel like every
Star
age
could've
star in the NBA they can
could've
afford
took
to.
Yes, they
They
could
could've took
have.
that
They
for the
don't
game.
want to, and that's what I'm saying. The consumer is like, well, no. Who are you to say that they should stop feeding their kids? I'm like, dude, they get fined for bullshit.
Yeah, one game.
Off and
check
on
ain't
the court.
affecting
Last
One
time I
game?
checked, that fridge is not
One
fine.
game
There's
check.
food in that fridge.
Can y'all stop
They got
it?
money.
Stop it!
They
Like
got
the
money.
endorsement checks and
all
cover
that. I'm not
Speaking
counting
of
nobody's
that-
money, but it's like, damn, like
Go ahead, Q.
No, I was gonna say, speaking of like games and sports and things of that nature, did y'all see that story about the kid in Jersey?
Oh yeah,
who
the kid, the
cut his
wrestler.
dreads off
That was
and put them-
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
got.
was so mad about that. Like,
And I
but it
wanted
was a
to hear your
racist.
thoughts on that.
It was a racist ref who has a history of that.
he has a history of
But
it.
they haven't said anything about like his past. His past incidents?
Would have been
Yeah.
history of homicide. You tell my son cut his fucking hair off like
Yeah,
that.
it'd
You
have
do
been-
some shit like
yeah.
that. Because
Where
had I
was
been in the stands, I would have beat the shit
That's
out
what I
that
wanna
man
know.
But you
with
know
my
what? The
bare
other
hands. I
black
would've took his life
kid,
with my fucking
he
bare
body
hands.
slammed him when he called him a nigga
Mhm.
at a social function, and he body slammed him. From what I
Wait,
heard.
the one that the
the
kid
one that
was
made
wrestling in
no
the
no
match?
no the ref.
Yeah.
Called
He
some.
called another player a nigga.
At a party. And
and
the
he
kid
body-
body slammed
He
him.
like he body
Oh,
slammed him.
wow.
He body slammed the ref?
See, I didn't
Yes.
know what
I wonder
the
where-
ref's
but
history
I-
was. But
Yeah.
even with no history,
So
you
he's
tell my son
known
this
for
shit, I'll fuck you up.
he has a racial history.
Well, he got body slammed, so I feel better.
yeah, me too.
Fuck
But
yeah.
I feel bad about homeboy though.
Me too. I do.
If
I'm like,
you, if you look at the footage, he was
was
busy-
destroyed.
yeah, he was hurt.
He was hurt,
Then he's crying after the match. He won the match.
Yeah.
Just
and he
cry-
had to take pride and go walk over to this racist ref just to like hold his hand up.
Like, don't fucking touch me, you bitch ass
He,
nigga.
what was the reason?
There's a rule in the. There's a rule in the. In
He's
the rules.
hiding behind that
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah, he's hiding behind the rule because your headgear. There shouldn't be anything that's like
Hanging out of your
hanging.
head.
But
in
it
gear.
wasn't.
But if that was the case, he could have wore a do rag and then put his
Yeah.
then put his headgear on and then wrestled. Because I've
Pretty
seen that
much.
before. I've seen girls wrestle.
Different
Yeah,
wrestlers have
girls,
said
yeah.
that you have head covers, and his hair was actually within
Was in within that was in
regulation. So he's just a racist prick.
That's
and
terrible.
He
should
shouldn't
be-
No,
be
what's
reffing.
terrible more so because he's a
Nobody stood up.
kid. The
Nobody-
damn coach.
Didn't see it. Thank you.
Word.
The coach is like egging him
Nobody.
on like it's
Because
okay.
he's wrestled before.
It's okay, son,
He wrestled
like-
before.
Right.
Like
Nobody.
matches
Yeah,
before that, he
that
wrestled
was
with a headgear on.
bothersome.
Like
He was trying to keep him from winning. I think they knew that he was
Yeah.
gonna win, which he did win.
he
That's
destroyed the
fucked
kid.
up.
They would have threw me out. Nobody on my team would have competed. I would have took everybody out of that tournament or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck that
That's on
mean.
the coach.
Whatever the fuck.
We
that
already
was,
know how you
nobody
give
would've
how
been
you
there.
give it.
Nobody would not have
Technical
been
foul.
What? Technical technical foul.
Remember
Yo,
this dude
bro,
in the league?
Sir.
bro, y'all think y'all ever seen me get technical fouls before? And tell my son he got, or
Yeah,
tell
we
my
both
player and
would-
my
yeah, we both
man,
We would
listen.
have been in trouble.
We know how you rock,
Shit,
bro.
I'm like, yo,
man.
Draymond Green over here.
Shit, Draymond Green? No, I would have been the fucking run out
Y'all
test because I done went out on the
No,
fucking
mine-
on the
you
court
would've
and
snuffed
beat
him.
the shit out of that fucking ref. What? We would have been
Yeah,
done.
remember-
My team has never been able to compete again.
Nah,
We thrown out of the ref. All right, we're
wait.
done,
Side,
bro.
Hold on.
side,
You gonna go to
sidebar.
story mode?
Story mode
Okay,
with you, with
so-
your ass.
So hold on.
You got-
I'll give the backdrop story.
You hurt
So-
my damn thumb trying to restrain your ass, man.
So we all played. You know we all played in the urban league in the city.
Okay.
Ironically, my brother wasn't at this game because he had to work. Late.
One
That's the
fucking
catch
game.
22 about this whole story. He wasn't
Yeah.
there. So we're playing me, myself, McCray, his nephew.
And my nephew, yeah, shout out to
Nephew's on the
Rasheen.
team. So Rasheen, yeah, shout out to him. We played this team before, and I almost got into a fight with
Yeah.
with the same guy. Ironically, the season before. This season we playing hard fouls, telling the ref like, "Yo, you got to do something,
Yeah.
or it's going." They do it. I'm like,
It's
"You got to
about
do something."
go down.
I'm telling them like something's gonna go wrong because y'all
Yeah.
starting, y'all not calling anything. We never do anything until somebody does something to us. So what happened? The play that escalated everything was
Yeah, my nephew blocked the shot.
Rasheen went up and blocked this dude's shot. In the air, he pushes
Yeah.
Rasheen down on the ground. So then I just blacked out and
Yeah.
lost it. Pushed the dude up against the pads. The refs go sit, start changing.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready to snuff him.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I'm-
running to me. Like none
yeah.
of the. Ironically, it was a white team.
Yeah.
So it was like, so I'm like, yo, you know you dirty. What you doing is wrong.
It's fucked up.
So I snap. I'm like, yo, I'm about to drop this guy. We about to get kicked out. I'm like,
And
I
you
don't care.
never snap.
I never snap. So for me to do it, because that was not the first. He did it to me personally
Yeah.
before. And the first time, my daughter was at the game.
Yeah.
He had my he had my daughter. He looked up like, yo,
Yeah,
he
I
couldn't
didn't
even leave.
realize it was before. It was.
He couldn't even leave. So I'm like, yo, this dude's got to get dropped. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you press the button, now I'm a snap.
It was like a
It's on you.
5-minute
Yeah.
like layover. Like we couldn't even
Yeah.
play.
The
We had to wait.
fucking game, I'm not there. The one fucking game
'Cause if
in
he was
3
there-
fucking seasons,
if
I'm
he was
not
there-
fucking there.
If he was there, I
We'd
probably
got
would
kicked
have.
out though.
We would have got kicked out because I would have.
So it's
Because I
probably
knew I
best.
would. Because I knew if I could.
Nah.
I knew he had my back. Regardless, I'd have been like, all right, so he got to get hit.
But nobody
knew
had
it was
my
coming.
back restraining your ass because I'm just trying
Yeah,
to get
yo,
your
I
ass
was
back.
like, you know what I do remember? I remember Pablo coming over like, yo,
Yeah.
King. He was like, wait, yo,
Yeah.
it's me. He was like, wait, stop.
But not trying to hurt Rod like that.
Yeah.
Like trying
He
to
was
push
in
him
the
out
air.
the air like
He
that's
was-
OD.
he was
The
in the air.
funny shit, he
bro.
was already in the air, and I'm on the other end of the court, and I'm seeing that joint. As soon as I seen it, I'm jetting, and O'Neal's already over there, and I'm like, oh shit. So it was just crazy.
Yeah, because I remember you
Yeah.
stayed with your nephew to like calm him down.
Because him, and then like I
I
don't
don't
want
even
none
think.
of
No,
that.
was I even in the game that day? At that point?
Nah, you was in the game. We was short that day. We was short.
I
We
know.
lost
Yeah,
that game.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
We
then we
lost.
smoked them.
Then we beat them in the
We
playoffs,
smoked the brakes
and we
down.
won the chip.
Yep. And we had played them in the playoffs the year
Yeah.
before.
Y'all still
like,
play or
it
y'all
was-
stop?
Nah,
Yeah, we
we
stopped.
stopped, man.
Oh, the game ended.
We gotta
there?
bring that back though. We back-to-back champions though.
Oh shit! I didn't know the game ended. I thought y'all finished.
No, we
playing.
finished the
finished
game.
playing.
We
We
finished
lost.
the game. We lost by
Okay,
like
okay.
5.
They got out of there quick.
Oh yeah. I heard.
Yeah.
They got out of there quick.
Brooklyn Warriors, back-to-back
Back
champions.
to back. Hell yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Good
man.
times.
Good times. Good
My-
times.
but deadass watching that video, my fucking heart was hurt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
for
a
that
Mine
fucking
too, man.
kid,
Yeah.
Mine too, man.
Standing there, like how much years and effort you dedicate towards getting your hair like that, and that shit symbolically means things to people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Right.
and for you to fucking make him cut his fucking hair off on some bullshit, like I forgot what the dude's name is, but sincerely, wherever you are, I am hoping that every bad thing in life happens to you. I hope somebody finds you and fucks you up. I hope every bad thing in
Hater
life
of the
happens
year.
to you, bro. Like I really fucking
Wish everything
hate your
bad
guts,
happens.
bro. Every fucking bad thing in life, I'm wishing on you, bro.
I'm surprised. Like you haven't heard any interviews
Nah.
about from the
No,
kids.
This
they
is
did
right in
from
Jersey,
Jersey.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know
yeah, it's
that.
in Jersey.
Jersey.
But I don't know which part because
No, I have all the info on my well, it's on my phone, but I have all the info. It's like Vineland.
Vineland, South Jersey. That's the
That's
bottom.
South Jersey.
That's there.
It's like close to Philly.
Yeah, I had a colleague that's from Vineland.
And they have
It's very-
they have who you have to contact to petition. They the ref's name is I think is something
You put it
Maloney.
Up. You
Maloney.
put it up. Yeah, I
something
think Paul Maloney or some shit like that.
I don't know, but it's definitely Maloney, and it's just kind of foul, man. I think it's more foul that the coach didn't
Didn't say
stand up
anything,
for him.
yeah.
For real.
I think that's what's whack. And his parents, I
Him
don't
nor
know
the
what
other
his parents are
members of his
saying.
team.
What was that, Q?
I said him nor the other members of his team because I felt like the other members of his team were kind of supporting the fact that he made that decision to just.
They were because they wanted
Yeah.
to
because they were
win.
looking for a win.
They wanted to win, and so did he.
But like,
So he said, "Fuck it." I'm not judging the kid. You know,
Yeah.
he more was like,
He
"I
was
want to
about the
fucking
team.
win.
He was
I'm about the team,
Like that's natural.
and I'm gonna play." I'm not judging him. I feel like he had the passion towards the sport
And what
to
type
say
of
"fuck it," but it's still like, damn.
and what type of ultimatum is that? Cut your dreads or forfeit.
Exactly.
Yo,
What the
word,
hell?
bro.
After you already got that far, that's disrespectful.
What if this was like the state championship?
Mm-hmm.
But he already
state
played.
tournament.
That's why it's kind of whack. Like you already
He's already
played.
done. Yeah, he's
Mhm.
already
So
wrestled.
you waited until
multiple
this
times.
match to say cut your hair?
And that says more. That says everything about the ref.
Exactly.
everything about the
Racist.
ref.
And I want to just clear this because I realize people have a different definition of what racism and prejudice is.
Yeah.
And I feel like, anyone can be prejudiced, but racism is the execution of prejudice with
Mhm.
power. And this is what people don't understand, why black
Yep.
people cannot be racist because we
Racist.
don't have the power.
Yeah.
We can be prejudiced, and so what? Us being prejudiced is not going to stop any white person from getting
A job.
a job.
Wow.
Like a
So
place,
it's-
right.
position of power.
It's nothing systemic, redlining, education. That's all racism. I don't understand why some black people still don't get that. And I made a statement today where, and I want you guys to to
Not
tell
only
me
black people, white people
can be what
just like don't understand that. Like
that they don't. They don't.
They're
But
like, oh,
in
you
y'all opinion, because I said today, I do feel like Mexicans, because someone brought it up with the whole Chris Rock thing, right?
Okay.
Can we get into that?
Yeah,
Or-
we can get into that. We can
Yeah,
get into
I
that.
I don't know what happened.
All right, so with the Chris Rock thing, this is like a tape that's going around. It came out yesterday from 7 years ago, and it is a live taping,
Mhm.
and he's the only black comedian, along with Ricky Gervais, whatever his name
Ricky
is.
Gervais. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, I know you're talking about the Office British.
the Office guy,
Yeah.
Seinfeld, and
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
Right. So, so how it starts really when you see the whole thing is that they're comparing black people to white people, and Chris Rock says something like, no, they're talking about black people actually. People don't see that part. I saw it like another part.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, Louis C.K. is like, yeah, black people, a black person getting rich, a white person getting rich, and they'll be wealthy, right? But a black person getting rich, and then he might be broke by the end of the year. This is Louis C.K. saying that.
Yeah.
So then they're all like kind of laughing it off, and then Chris Rock is like, Louis is he's just like black people, like he's like the worst kind of black person. Like all the bad shit you can think about black people, that's what Louis is. And then Louis says, oh, so you're saying I'm a nigger? And Chris Rock is like, yeah, you're the niggerish nigger, the niggerest nigger ever, or some shit like that. And they all just laughing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like laughing. It was cringeworthy to me. But the savior of the day, of course, was Seinfeld, who stood tall, who was just classy about it. Like, I want to actually read the quote that he said, but he basically said, I've never said the word, and I don't say the word, nor he said, oh, you find humor in it.
Yeah.
I don't find humor in it, nor do I seek to. And that's how the clip goes off. You know what I mean? And so everyone is going crazy, but I think people are getting up. People are making it like, oh, black people are so like triggered by this word. It's not really that. I think what's cringeworthy is the fact that I was trying to like step in Chris Rock's shoes, but I think it was the fact that he didn't say nothing. All he said was, I don't say the word anymore either. He just laughed it off. But you didn't even say nothing like comparable to what Seinfeld said. Like he could have checked him right there. Like, no, like he could have said, like, don't say that. Like you can't use that word, and still laughed it off. But he just was like, ha 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 ha, And I don't know, man. I think
So that's what the backlash is coming at Chris Rock for him not being like, yo, you can't say that word. Or
Or
whatever,
that's
whatever.
not saying really. All he said was that he doesn't use it anymore. But it was a comedic.
But not stopping him from saying it.
He didn't stop him from saying, nor checked him for saying it. But I
Or
feel like
told him that it
Seinfeld
wasn't okay.
did. Seinfeld said, "Oh, you find humor in it," and he was like, "I don't, nor do I seek to. Like, I'm never gonna find that funny."
True.
You know what I'm saying? But Chris Rock was just like, "Yeah, you're like the niggerish nigger." I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Well, if I can share, like I remember this was recent. This was in the last year or so. I had a coach, and she's a white woman with a a half black daughter because she had a baby with Jamaican men.
Mm-hmm.
So she's having a conversation with
I know who
me
you're
in a
talking about.
space and she used the word like nigger to me, right?
Like in what context?
I
Like what's up,
remember-
my nigga? Or yo, these niggas be like.
No, because she was like, because it was a conversation around a student using the N word or something like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
she was like, well, if a student said the word nigger or something like that, but the fact that she had the audacity and the level of comfort to say it instead of just saying the N word, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was mad comfortable. She said it more than once in that space, and I like in that moment, as like adamant and pro black as I am, didn't check her.
Yeah.
And I regret that moment, but I also remember being in awe in that moment too, and wondering like, damn, like how do you respond to something like this? Because I had never prepared to respond to someone that at that time, like I thought I respected or I have a level of respect for. You know what I mean?
It bothered you though?
It did. It bothered me, her level of comfort.
Right.
Not because the context in which she was using it wasn't denigrate, not toward me. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
But her level of comfort, especially when I felt as though she didn't, like she had a lack of awareness around like racial tension altogether, and she always chalked it up to like her being the mother of a half black child. Like you didn't get it, right? You thought you got it, but you didn't.
Right.
And the fact that she found like comfort and resolve in being able to say that because of that, I don't know, it was off-putting for me. So she wasn't trying to be offensive, but I think it's this, it was white privilege, sitting in front of me, and I didn't know how to check her privilege.
Right. And so I was trying to think like that about Chris Rock, right?
Yeah.
But what made it worse, the part I left out, is that Ricky Gervais, I guess, after it was said, it gave him the leeway to say it too. So it was just a nigga going around the whole. He's like, oh, so you say nigga, and then Louis was like, oh, we don't say nigga on stage, but we say it, but y'all say it privately, and it was just that going on, and that's when Seinfeld was like, wait, I don't even say it.
And what was what was this? It was just them in a room having a conversation.
But it was recorded. It was a stage.
They...
I think it was a stage, but they're like sitting like in couches, just having a conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was just like a laughy type of thing, but it was somewhat superficial, like pseudo. It wasn't like, it was like a Saturday Night Live type thing. But I'm gonna say that because I don't know what the thing was.
I think well, two things, right? For the first part of it, I think it's just fair to say like for them to have that conversation with the cameras off, would that make it okay? Because they all seem to have a relationship with one another. Right, so maybe.
Sidebar: Louis C.K. Did you guys know he wrote and directed Pootie
Pootie
Tang?
Tang? Yes, I knew that.
You knew that?
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You guys don't have a problem with that?
Why?
I don't have a problem with him directing Pootie Tang.
Writing it too? He wrote it. He wrote it.
He wrote it with Chris Rock.
He wrote it with Chris Rock
and with somebody else. I got no problem with that. Like, Nate Brennan is Dave Chappelle's guy that he writes the stuff with. Like,
I think it's Neil Brennan.
Neil Brennan, pardon me. Neil
white?
Brennan is he's a white. Like, whoever you get your artistic, mojo flowing with, whatever. That's your thing, bro. Like some of my best friends in my life are white. They're white dudes who who I would go into business with. And you might say, yo, Carnegie's company, there's a white, whatever, VP of whatever.
Really, I don't care about that. But I think I just always equated Pootie Tang to some black shit that was Chris Rock's creation.
Definitely.
Not that you had assistants and this racist white guy, because essentially, I mean, he's getting labeled that regardless if he likes it or not. And he was like kind of unapologetic about it, using it. He said it several times.
Nah, he's definitely said it, man.
Shout out
like in that clip, it was only like a 2-minute clip, and he said that like.
I mean, here's the thing, and this may come off whatever, but I feel like if you have a relationship with people who are white and in that realm of comedy, I feel like it's just like it's a slippery slope because comedy's in your face. Comedy is just like raw. It's whatever. So I think maybe that's why Chris Rock didn't have that much to say about it.
They wouldn't have said Pike.
I mean,
they wouldn't have slipped and said Pike. Jerry Seinfeld would have went off.
Yeah, and I just think you're right, and I just think that maybe it's just a reflection of Chris Rock and him being comfortable with the people he was around. I know for me, if I were Chris Rock, I would have a huge problem with that, right? But I just think maybe with Chris Rock, maybe he did.
I mean, I'm not even trying to judge him. I just think that the extra problem is the fact that Seinfeld went along. He took it. somewhat seriously. He kept it laughing. He was still laughing, but he was like,
But I respect
he
that.
checked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mainly too, when I saw this opinion today, that because of him being Jewish and being aware that he's being recorded, and they don't play that shit, yo. They don't play that shit. Period. And I was just everyone's telling me that they knew Chris Rock was a coon, and I'm like, really? I never thought that. I'm just surprised at Chris Rock, because Chris Rock seems like he G checks, and he has a lot of power within Hollywood, in my opinion. So I'm just like, damn, Chris Rock, you just didn't say nothing. Like even in a laughing way, you could have just been like, don't do that.
I mean,
something.
In his defense,
That's not cool.
I feel like it's a slippery slope for two things. It's really hard for me to pass judgment on this. One, because they're comedians.
Yeah, that's
so
why.
I feel like there's a certain level of like, you can't take
right.
everything
You're
they
right.
say seriously
Yeah.
because they're comedians. And two, not knowing how close Louis C.K. and Chris Rock are,
That's
I'm
what
a
I'm
bit
saying.
ashamed
That's
to
why.
admit this, but
He could have
I
been
have
being
white
funny.
friends
He
that,
could have been being
that
funny.
do say it.
Yeah.
And do I beef to fight them every now and then? I mean, whenever they say it? No, because you were the only person that grew up around 15 black people, and 100 times a day we called you nigga. So a couple times when it's like,
understand your privilege.
not to say like, not like.
No,
I
we
don't-
used to always give passes to certain white people.
Yeah.
So
So
I got
let
white
me-
friends that got
That's how we
passes
grew
with
up,
it.
So let
man.
me
I'm
ask
not
you.
gonna like,
But I
not
don't
gonna
think
lie,
Louis
like, I
C.K.
don't-
one of
one of
those
those
white
people.
people.
He
Could
pro-
Chris Rock
And then
not
he's
be
Mexican.
Louis C.K.'s nigga representative. Because when I see other white people in the street, I almost be looking like, can I see your PBA card? Can I speak to your nigga representative? Like, who allowed you to be able to say it? Now, if you got clearance
Right.
and you one of the people that say it,
Maybe he might
all
have
right,
clearance.
and that's what I'm saying. Does Louis C.K. is Chris Rock his representative? Because I got friends, and if my boy Roger says nigga out, and I'm not checking him like that because that's
But see, nigga, this is where we get it's semantics. But they said nigger. It was just wasn't like my nigga.
Yeah, nah,
It was like he said.
You said
so
a hard
I'm
ER.
He
and
said the
no,
hard.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
I
no,
feel
no.
away, but he
Yeah,
said,
nah.
so you're calling me a nigger.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what he
yeah,
said.
yeah.
He
No,
didn't
no,
say
no,
my
no,
nigga.
yeah.
He said, so you're calling me a
No,
nigger.
never. Yeah.
It still might have
So,
been the more I think about it,
I
it may
see
have
what
been
you
in a
were saying.
comedic
Yeah.
context.
I think so.
However, pump your brakes.
Yeah,
homeboy.
hard
So-
ER. No, yeah.
Let me
Pump
ask.
your brakes,
Let me ask you
homeboy.
guys this then. Who would you?
Who gets a pass and who doesn't?
Yeah.
We
How do
used
y'all
to have
decide that?
discretion. Growing up, we had discretion. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we
You
grew up.
know the people
You
in
grew
your
up
hood that
with
got
that
it.
mentality, and I think of late, like in my latter years, I kind of was like, "Fuck all that," unless someone gave them the pass. Like case in point, Tekashi. I think Tekashi grew up for the most part. He doesn't say it like he's trying to say it. He says it like that's his lingo.
I can't. So I'm
I
gonna
can't.
be real with you. I cringe when I hear
Spanish
like
people get-
Spanish people say it, and I cringe when Drake says it.
Why? Drake is half black.
But
And
you
he
look
grew up in-
white.
But you look
No, his
like a
mother's.
white man.
He does not.
No, he doesn't.
Obama's still
He doesn't.
blacker than Drake, even though
Exactly.
they both 50. Is like
I
it's
just
off the.
it just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, like it.
I can feel you.
You
Like, it
know
just
that
doesn't-
Latinos do. First of all,
When J.
Latinos
Cole went off on that-
say nigga more than black people.
I always say that. A hood Spanish chick
What?
says nigga more.
And
my
a
nigga.
hood and a dude.
Yeah,
My nigga,
Dominicans,
everything is my nigga.
every
Yo,
other
chill, my
fucking
nigga.
word.
Everything
Yup.
is my
I
nigga.
feel you, and
They
I
say
just-
it more than us.
And I feel you, but it just
Absolutely.
doesn't. I don't know. It just bothers me.
It should, because I feel like essentially, and this is like, I'm not trying to pass judgment, but I feel like a lot of them, they're not really with the cause, even though we're like grouped the same.
And they don't even consider themselves black.
They don't.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Majority of them don't.
They are quick to separate. Even the ones who are darker than all of us in
Yeah.
here, they are quick to separate.
And it's just so I don't know. And I say Drake because it's just like,
Come on, you
dude,
can't say Drake, man.
When
It just
J.
doesn't-
Cole went off on that rant
Drake's
about
father-
white people
first of all,
stealing
Drake's
shit, I
pops-
was kind of like, bro, you remember on the last, not on this last album, the one before that when he was talking about Macklemore,
Yeah.
Eminem and Macklemore, like white
No,
people
but
stealing black people's
wait.
music, and I was like, bro, you kind of white, bro.
Go ahead, Q.
Who, J. Cole?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I completely disagree with that. J. Cole
Okay.
is straight black.
He's black. I don't
One
get
drop
nothing
rule.
about white. I
Mama-
don't get nothing white by
Mama
Drake.
white,
One
I'm
drop
calling
rule.
white.
Mom gonna
One
play.
drop rule.
I'm
Once you
gonna
have Negro
But
blood,
Drake's
you're black.
pops is blacker than
That
black.
little boy looks black.
I don't know if Mariah Carey rolled up in the spot like niggas ain't shit. I'll be like, yo,
I don't
sorry.
know. Her
I'm
voice,
sorry.
she got the black girl pass.
If Drake would have come and said, "Yo, y'all
Mariah
niggas
Carey
is good,"
word
I'm
is
looking at you like, my guy, get the fuck out of here.
How? Why?
I'm
I don't
good.
know.
Drake's
I don't know.
pops is like
Yeah,
like
super
a
OG
soul.
Pimp
He
Black.
is. Get the fuck out of
From
here.
Memphis.
Okay, He gets the pat from his
Yes,
Get the
he's
fuck
black,
outta here.
yo.
I don't know.
I'm
You
sorry. I
bugging,
don't know. It's just
man.
whenever I hear Drake on a song like these niggas, and I'm like, yo, I can't fuck with it.
Yeah, you a hater, B.
I'm not a hater.
You
I
a
don't-
hater.
I don't listen.
You a
Okay.
hater.
Okay. If I don't like it, I
How
don't like
can-
it. That
how
don't mean
can
I'm hating.
Drake not get the pass? That's OG.
You don't-
He's black.
Who's
yo.
his his OG?
His
Who's his
pops.
Get the fuck
pops.
out of here.
He from Memphis.
It's blood. I don't know. I can't.
His pops is a super OG pimp daddy. Like he's straight blacker than black.
I'm good.
I don't know. One
I
driver,
don't know,
I,
I just-
can see. It's
I can't. It just
niggas a
bothers me.
slippery slope, man.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it brings me to this as well. I don't know if you're familiar with China Mac. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fuck with China Mac.
That's my boy.
China
Like, I
Mac's
know
a
him.
nigga all the time.
So then he got at Lil Pump, right? Because Lil Pump was it Lil Pump or one of them.
Lil Xan, one
Not
of the littles.
One of the Lils
One of the
or
little-
Skinny from the
one of them
Nine.
little motherfuckers.
Scratching
One of those.
One of them
Lil
because
Dumpster.
they dropped a song and said "Ching Chong" with the eyes or whatever.
Wow.
I haven't heard that in like since I was
Right.
like,
Well,
So he got at them, right? But then
Lil
my
Wayne
thing is
said
that
something
he black people do too. And my thing
Exactly.
is that you're in hip hop culture. I'm not knocking it, and I respect that. You checking him for Asian people, but I think you have responsibility to hip hop culture to enlighten your people
Mhm.
because, in my opinion, Asians are inherently racist. They're racist. They have power, and they don't like black people.
But they dance like us though. They
They
only
appropriate
they
culture. He's genuine, China Mac. We know that. We can get it from him. I never even heard him say nigga, actually. And he might be warranted. He might be justified. Like, he
Yeah,
got the
I kinda
hood pass.
give
He's
him
official
pass, yeah.
tissue. We know that. But I'm just saying that he also has a responsibility to black culture to enlighten his people. If you got all these Asian people that are stamping you and are backing you on your move as a rapper, I just feel like there's an equal responsibility because he checked him for that. But check your people too.
But can any Asian person that kind of like champions China Mac even have an ounce of racism in them? Like, if you fucking with this Asian rapper that's so
What?
deep in hip hop,
Yeah.
how can you?
Yes, you can.
I don't know. Well, you're a dumbass then if you're running around listening to hip hop and being hip hop and then still trying to be racist.
No,
at the same
I'm
time.
saying
Like,
that
the
the
fuck are you
non.
doing?
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
saying the non people. I'm saying
I don't think nobody who's not fucking with hip hop would listen to China Mac. They probably disown him.
No,
Like,
I'm
this
just saying that he
motherfucker,
should
like-
enlighten Asians in general
Okay,
because you have
okay.
Asian people are championing him just because he's Asian.
True.
That's where
Yeah.
every ethnic
Yeah, they hold
group
on, yeah.
has it. Unlike us, we don't do that for each other, but they do. So I'm just saying, enlighten your people because we can name several incidents, let alone in this 1 year alone, where black people were beat up in nail salons and hair supply stores and just different things where we know that Asians
I've never
kind
heard
of
of this dude.
China Mac.
Really?
Nah, I never heard of him. Check
I'm
him
just
out.
saying that I think he has a responsibility too. It goes both ways. You want to check him for saying that? Great.
Mac
I'm not
talk.
knocking that.
What did they say in the song about the Ching Chong? Like, what exactly?
He was
did
just
they
like
do?
respect Asian culture.
Okay, well,
But-
they was making fun of it, like what?
oh,
what
he said my
exactly
eyes
what
low
happened?
like Chinese Ching Chong.
Well, whatchamacallit, Lil Wayne says
Everybody has said
how
that.
it look,
Yeah.
how it's looking like Konnichiwa. Like, come on.
But I
Cam
think
said-
because he pulled his
eyes.
he
Chinky
pulled
like-
his eyes.
Cam said stretch wig like Yao Ming, Ching Chow Mecca High. What he said?
That's a cam bar. That's definitely a cam bar.
I forgot how it went.
Rudy Tooty, Pooly Looty.
Ching Chow Mecca High.
I got the
Chow
Rudy.
Mein.
No Cam slander. Thank you.
Oodles and noodles at the J Chinese Makahaya.
I don't know.
Cam,
like,
sit your ass down.
nah,
No Cam slander, please. Thank you.
Cam.
I keep the pewters.
I fuck with China Mac. But I don't fuck with Lil Pump in the business.
Nah,
Fuck
I'm
them
good with
niggas.
Lil Pump. But so this is the Christmas edition, right? Christmas episode. So the year's coming down. Are we set on our albums yet?
I mean, we got.
Yeah, I don't have it with me.
From them. From what was it? Night 15 we had, or
We had 15.
Yeah, we
So
got
like
one
that?
more. We got one more show before the year's done.
okay.
But
So we gonna
speaking
say
of albums, what did you guys think of that 21 Savage, or excuse me, Savage 21 album?
Fire. I actually liked it.
Yo, it was dope.
Where's Q? He's getting that
Oh,
shit,
there
Q.
She be alright. Savage 21.
Savage 21, you liked it, Q?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
Maybe that's
You know,
an
it's funny,
alternative
I didn't even
timeline.
recognize-
I was
didn't even
surprised,
recognize that his
actually.
name was said wrong. I didn't even recognize his name was said incorrectly. My bad.
That was an alternate universe, alternate timeline. in
Well,
another
honestly,
earth.
because we both, that came from her bringing
That was
up
his
his
doppelganger.
verse on Meek's
Yeah.
album was actually pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
I was surprised because when he first came out, I was like, no. But to me, he stepped it up, and
Yeah.
I like his growth, his maturity, and
Yeah.
I tuned in for his interview, his Breakfast Club interview.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to check it
Pretty mature.
out.
I was checking for most of the things that he said. And I liked how he kind of also G-checked Charlamagne, who tries to pander and pitch mental health on every damn guest,
God.
but he does have a lot of, not issues, but he's dealt with a lot of death young.
course.
He's only 26, right?
Yeah.
And to have that many people die between the ages of 16 and that age is like,
I mean, it speaks to
How
how
many
he.
folks are they saying
you
that
know.
he had die in his world?
I don't know. It was a lot of people though, and then he just
Or
buried
was it-
somebody
was it
on
like
last
type of-
Tuesday. He
Mhm.
just buried somebody, and he was just. I like artists that are like transparent and just like genuine. And he
Yeah.
was just like, honestly, dude, I just cry sometimes. Like, fuck it,
Mhm.
like he said, I gotta get the pain out. And he was like, I liked his response on. I do understand people saying to go to therapy,
Mhm.
but I kind of liked him saying like, I think he said something like,
It ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
not only that, but that your pain. I think he said pain can't be cured necessarily. It's your pain. So
But
I'd
that's the
rather
thing,
just get
people
it
think
out.
That it's about curing.
Huh?
Sorry, I was about to get into the semantics about like the purpose of therapy because I think that that just goes.
He
to
tried
what's
it
the word that I'm looking
before,
for?
right? But he's saying like
Yeah.
he's like, I don't need to go just speak to somebody. I'd rather just cry, get it out, which is also therapeutic too, to get it out. Like some men don't even admit to doing that.
You know
Like,
yourself
hey,
better than anybody.
right?
You know
Like,
what works for you.
I do hurt, and I'm in tune with that, but I'd rather thug it out.
I didn't
Ain't
hear
nothing
the
wrong with that.
album.
I heard
Me
most
either.
of
I like
it.
it.
I gotta finish it up. I love the A Lot song. I mean, so far what I've heard, I like.
There's
I
a
like
song
a lot.
called "The Lie."
Yeah, with
With
J.
J.
Cole,
Cole on it.
which I put up on my
Oh, I
IG.
heard that. I heard that song.
I was like,
I
yo,
heard
that's
that
verse
song.
of the year candidate for me. I really like that verse.
It's good. I mean, I'm gonna
really
sound
like
like a
that
hater.
Oh, I saw your post.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
sound
did?
like a hater, but
Oh,
He was
boy.
interesting on that verse. Come on, man.
no,
Oh,
not
boy.
that verse specifically. I feel like the overall bar being lowered in hip hop so low allows people like 21 Savage to even exist because, like, his skill at rapping is not very good, and I feel like the bar's been lowered so low that 21 Savage can exist, Lil Yachty can exist, Uzi Vert can exist. Like, these people who are very basic. Like, I know 12-year-olds that rap better than them, and I'm not really interested in listening to nobody that raps on levels like that. And I sound like a hater. People, son, is dope. It's
I'm not
just-
knocking
but
that. I hate Lil
don't
Yachty.
Really I can't listen to none of that shit.
Lil Yachty
Like,
is
if your
super
shit is
duper
not-
whack.
Yeah, like
I like
super
Sprite
corny.
soda.
I don't listen to that. Yeah, like I don't
You
listen to
speak of-
none of that shit. So like, if you can't rap on a certain level, then like the only person
But
who
21
shits
can
out-
rap though.
I don't think so. I don't know, man. I didn't hear the last album, so
So-
I started it with that. I didn't listen to it, so
Well,
everything that I've heard is like, son, this shit is a joke.
I hadn't listened-
It's like, come on.
I
21.
hadn't listened to it either, and I agree with you. But when you judge, when you're saying like on that level, like
My
what
other
are you
brother
evaluating
got
that
shot.
based on?
Like, you're not good at rapping. Like, when I grew up, even niggas that was like almost kind of comical, you know what I'm saying? Like, Busta Rhymes, quote unquote, was comical. But
Nah,
still,
Busta
but
Rhymes
what
was-
I'm saying
Das
is, in the
Effects.
90s, he was comical though, right or wrong, like animated kind of that. But
He
if you-
was
but if you-
animated, but his man.
And that's my
coulda
point.
rapped, though.
And this is my
He could
point.
spit.
Even the niggas that was fucking comical could rap their ass off.
I
So
see your
even
point.
the bottom of the level,
Yeah.
like, I don't allow niggas to exist if you can't fucking rap. I'm not listening to your raps if I feel like you can't rap. I don't give a fuck how popping it is. I don't give a fuck how that fucking video where what's famous Dex falling asleep and shit. Y'all niggas is drug addicts. Y'all niggas is fucking corny. I don't give a fuck how many people you shot or how many times you went to jail or none of that shit. That don't mean you can rap. Because you 7 feet don't mean you could be in the NBA. You gotta know how to ball. And I don't think these niggas know how to rap. I don't give a fuck about your persona. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not listening to this shit. And people tell me I'm a hater all the time, but if you can't rap, I'm not listening to this shit.
I respect it.
I mean,
Like I'm saying, I didn't like him at first. to be
I
honest.
really did. Like,
He
I
grew-
I'm like, son, he's
But see, the
fucking
thing
terrible.
about rap is like any other.
Because people been stealing his flows, and it's familiar to you now. So you hear that same
I
cadence
feel
that
like
everybody
you
been
try-
stealing.
I feel like
so it's like,
any other sport or any other art form. If you start it and you keep doing it and you apply practice, you will get better at it.
Oh, so you think? Oh, okay, I can see you. Yeah, he's better than. But to me, it's like, all right,
It's like Jeezy. People can say whatever. I always bring up Jeezy.
Yeah, I
We
never
all
really
love
liked
Jeezy from jump,
I
right?
never really liked
Right,
him.
but
Yeah,
exactly.
'cause he couldn't
But
rap.
I fuck with Jeezy.
but he applied the same grind and the same effort to his hustle to rapping,
And he got
and
better.
he got so much better that at one point in time, Jeezy had the best verse on a lot of those anthems. We know he became a favorite because he tried, and I'm saying the same thing happens with rap. If you can get in and you can still like not be subpar, you have a subpar entrance and you keep going hard, like with anything in life, you keep going hard. I'm gonna get better because I
10,000
care
hours.
about you, right? Exactly, 10,000 hours. I care about people caring about their art form. I can't respect you if you don't care about the art form. Hip hop is an art form. You have to respect it. So if you got in the game, at least have enough respect for the game to practice. That's what Nas meant to me when he said hip hop was dead. Yes, because he was saying like these niggas.
Yeah.
He was like
At the end, the
was a
acapella
terrible-
joint.
He was like,
we
"Oh,
pretty
we
much at the end."
That
yeah.
whole movement, the
Yeah.
T-shirts. I'm a trapper, not a rapper. That was the whole thing. He was just like, "Well, leave this rap shit alone."
Yeah, if it ain't
Exactly.
if it
If
ain't
it
for
ain't
you,
your thing, my nigga.
leave it alone. Leave this shit alone.
Leave it
And
to
that's
the
what he
dudes who really
meant.
spit.
Apply the effort. If you're gonna be in the game, just don't be here just to be here. Be here because you're good at it and because you're trying hard. And I feel like 21. And he said in the
21.
interview that he used to like not really give a fuck. He kind of got on through popularity,
And that's what I'm saying. I don't respect that. Like, I don't think like.
but he
but he's
acknowledged that.
I don't think they're professional rappers. I watch the NBA because I feel like these are professional basketball players. I feel like 60% of the people with deals with music out that on the radio are not even professional. Like, you're not a pro rapper. You're somebody that, I started rapping in 2017.
I hate when I hear them stories,
that
man.
dumb shit. Like, I don't want to hear your fucking ABC bars. I know 12-year-olds that rap better than you.
I started
That's
rapping
true.
yesterday.
Yeah, I went in the studio
There's
last week
mad
and just dropped that
stories
album.
like that right now.
Yeah, everybody. And I think a lot of people be lying because Trinidad came with that shit and it kind of popped for him. I started
And he-
rapping last week and it popped in a
He
lot of people's
failed
time.
right away.
Yeah. I think again, me and my brother used to discuss this a lot. I think had he come out with what was it? What was the second shit?
Who's this?
Trinidad James. If had he come out with that other song first.
Oh, you mean
now my time, baby, name,
Girls Welcome, Girls Welcome.
Girls Welcome.
Girls
If he
Welcome
came
was
out
fi-
with
was
that
fire.
and
A word.
then
Yeah.
Old Gold everything,
Yeah,
I
that
think
would've been,
Old
yeah.
Gold
Yeah, if he just
set the
switched it.
bar so high that
Yeah.
it was like everybody was
Gold
expecting
all
that,
on my
and he could
chain.
never. That shit was a fucking smash, bro. The very first time I heard that shit,
Nah.
10 seconds in, I said,
Son,
"Son,
that
this shit
shit-
is a fucking smash."
So
bro.
I take you back even further. Remember when we was coming from work one time and this song used to always come on Trap Queen, and I'm like, yo, who is this dude? Yo, I'm like, how did this guy get in the game?
because it sounds different.
Yo, I used to, what the, I'm like, oh, now what the fuck is this? Hey, what's up, hello?
Where's he at? But where's Fetty Wap at right now?
He had a run for like a good,
Oh.
6 months?
Something
was a
happened
year.
though,
It was a
because he
year.
was still banging out hits. Something
Yeah.
happened. I don't know what happened.
He was on that joint with Tekashi, I think.
Yeah, something happened.
You gotta evolve or you die.
Pretty much.
Straight.
I don't know. I think they're trying to create disposable stars.
It's pretty much what
because
J.
it's
Cole
easy
said
to
on his
just-
track when he was getting that
Oh,
little
yeah.
pump.
What he said.
He was just pretty much saying like you gotta be versatile. You gotta be able to withstand because it's just like if you don't have any type of skill set, how can you have
Oh, you mean
have
on
longevity?
1985?
Yeah.
The powers that be don't want to create hip hop artists that have some type of substance or some type of power, because then you get a Kanye, somebody that decides they're gonna move when they want to move, and you almost gotta pander to them and what they want. They want to create disposable people to say, "Oh, when I'm done with you, I'm gonna throw your ass away. And I'm gonna go right in the bin and pick somebody else up and put them on the front and do what the fuck I want. And then
Next
when you're
trend,
done, I'm gonna throw
yeah.
you away." Like
Little
same
next
shit.
trend.
They don't want you to be, because then the ball's in your court. When you feel like you're gonna make music, you're gonna make it. When you feel like you want to push certain things, you're gonna push it.
And I think with
So-
hip hop, it's still relatively. I know we had this conversation before. It's still relatively in its stages of where the people that we grew up when hip hop was
transition.
real young. Like how is it transition? Like a Jay-Z transitioning into his next stage of his career, right? So it's one of those things. So we're seeing like people who we see as the pioneers of hip hop age within it and still be contributors to the culture of hip hop. So it's kind of interesting to see because hip hop is still relatively, dare I say, young, not like
No,
rock
it is
and
still
roll.
young. Let's be
Still
real.
You know what I'm
young,
saying?
and
Yeah,
it's
it's
one
still
of
young.
the top genres of music.
It is the top
been
genre.
It
top.
is. So can we get our piece?
Yeah, I'm just
It
saying.
does also lead me back to the conversation, like when we speak about like where like hip hop culture is going. Just like the other day when we were having a conversation about like where basketball might be going. Y'all saw Lamar Odom post that picture the other day of like whatever team he's playing in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
overseas or
did you
something.
see his caption about like his aspiration playing for that Big Three team?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like, and remember we were having a conversation just about like where the landscape of like basketball is going, and this could be me creating my own narrative based off of like my interpretation of it. But I think it's the same thing with hip hop. Like I think Jay-Z is about to be another Quincy Jones in a second, right?
Mhm.
Where he's gonna, because the like Reva was listening to the comment that you were just making, but even watching Empire, you recognize that the algorithm around hip hop right now is like, again, like where you can get the most clicks. And I think you're the one who speaks that all the time,
Mhm.
Reef. But people are looking for people who have a big following already, so that they can maximize on like that following, and just promote them with the foolishness that
Mhm.
that they're already putting out there. You know, so people aren't looking for substance; they're looking for clicks,
Yep.
and quick,
Yeah, it's
quick
pretty
money,
much
and quick turnaround.
It's a popularity
Until you
contest.
develop your own
Yeah.
lane and you have the clicks on your own.
Yeah, it's definitely in a place of transition now, and I think people don't know where it is. But I feel like people like Jay-Z, people like Diddy, like if they don't like, and Diddy has already been in this place, but you don't see him doing this as much anymore with like artist development and things of that nature. At least I don't see it.
Ain't no
Nobody,
money.
they
ain't no
don't
more.
invest in
Yeah.
that. No.
Yeah.
Ain't no money in having artists no
Say that
more.
again?
There's no money in having artists anymore. Diddy's making way more money in other things. Like having artists is like small money now.
Yeah.
Real shit. Diddy's
Yeah, but
fucking
it does make it
billionaire.
does.
I
make
don't
me
know if
wonder,
it's
like,
more money
where the
because there's a
industry's
lot of
gonna
money
go
still
if,
being
like,
made
some
up
of
for
the-
music.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think Diddy's gotten
It
to
makes
the
me wonder where
point
the
Oh, for
where he's
industry's
Diddy,
gonna go.
but-
Some of
yeah.
So I know
the people who
we talked about this earlier, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, Rain, because you talked about this extensively with Funk Flex and like his
With Dame?
yeah. So we culture vulture, right? So when he mentioned that, who is he referring to?
Well, I didn't hear. See, that's the whole thing. I can't find the full rant of
Was that when he was
Flex?
talking about shit?
'Cause we wasn't sure.
Life and Times, or this was another one? 'Cause
Well,
when
you
I
know,
heard him
Dame
shit on
has
Life
a
and
book.
Times-
called Culture Vultures.
Mhm.
So he's taking a shot. Dame, he's taking a shot at Dame calling Leor a culture vulture.
Mm-hmm.
And Dame is saying that Leo is a culture vulture. There's some truth to that because even Choke No Joke, I follow him. You should follow him on Instagram.
Yo, Choke be dropping mad jewels.
He always drops a lot of jewels. Sometimes, I think he's extreme, but he drops a lot of jewels. And even with him having a falling out with Dame, he still kind of defended Dame versus Flex. He's
Yeah.
like, because I see with Flex, let's talk about that part. Like, really, Jay-Z would have been Mike Geronimo?
Yeah, that's why I was like,
That was the reach I was saying.
Yeah.
Stay
Super reach. Like,
So he
stop
always
it.
does that. And every rant, he has
People
a
were
farm.
defending it because they were like, I mean, we know Mike Geronimo was that dude, but he was no Jay-Z. And Jay-Z, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion. I think this is also not personal. This is also, I feel like Jay-Z would have still broken through regardless. We don't know to what height, but Reasonable Doubt was still, even though it only went gold out the gate, so did Illmatic.
Yeah.
And so it still was a phenomenal album. It was Mike Geronimo's first album might have been decent.
What was it called? I don't even know.
It
what
was.
it's
I looked it
called.
up. I forgot what it's
Okay,
called.
yeah, like,
He
come
was
on.
still good, but I think that parallel. But he was basically. Someone told me he was trying to take a shot at the Priority deal that Jay was on.
yeah,
So, he's saying that if Jay didn't, he's saying that Dame got Jay that Priority deal, which was a shitty deal, and if they didn't sign with Def Jam, he wouldn't have blown. I disagree with that only because Reasonable Doubt came out on Priority. So it may not have had the impact at the moment, but it's still a phenomenal album that went on from doing gold to going, platinum or whatever. You know what I mean? I just think it still was a reach. And I don't know why Flex every other year or every once a year he just goes at Dame. I think Dame used to bully him back in the day. Because why does he bother him? Like, why are you always coming for Dame?
Definitely.
Every
He definitely
year.
did. I think he probably did. I agree with that.
And Dame used to be I think Dame
Dame
tried
was a
to act like he's some like he wasn't a bully.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
like he wasn't super arrogant
There was
and
footage
probably
on
mad
that shit.
nasty. He was probably mean to a lot of people
on Backstage. That's that documentary.
of him being a dickhead.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dame used to be super dickhead.
And
know.
Flex looked like he was seemingly
distraught.
corny back in the day.
He's still corny.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a corn. You know why?
He's always been.
He's from the Bronx, and he don't rep the Bronx like that. We
don't
always
claim
get at
him.
him like, yo, he does not claim the Bronx.
We don't claim him.
We need to.
No.
He ain't from the cool section.
He ain't from now. He ain't
Flex,
from the cool section.
Flex though still does have. I do salute him though because he's still a big dog. He still has one of the top, most relevant platforms in hip hop.
Of course. Still don't claim him.
But I still feel like he be doing certain
He
things.
does the
like,
most.
He be
Yeah,
at
he
some
does.
clubs that he shouldn't really be at. DJing and shit, like he's reached to a level where I don't really think he should be there. Like I be seeing Flex sometimes. I'm
Why?
Like, Flex is fucking DJing there because I feel like he's fucking Flex. Like he's got.
why is he DJing at BBQs?
Like
Why
like in
DJing
certain
at
places,
Dallas
I'll be like,
BBQs?
damn, bro. Like
Why
he
not?
should
I
have-
think
I'm
y'all.
fucking
I
with you.
think
I just
y'all-
made that up just to be
I
funny.
think that's
No,
what
'cause, like-
people do when you
'cause,
get
like,
to a certain level. But
Hov is not performing that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to come out, niggas, MSG or really nothing.
that's
else,
the
I'm
art
not-
form, man. I think it's still a humbling.
I think it's
still,
different for DJs.
So you think he's
Yeah.
doing
No,
it?
even
now,
as an
so-
artist, me
different.
right now,
It is
I'm
different for
humble when
DJs.
people still request me to rap. I think that's a part of you being a dope DJ.
So
Like,
you think
but-
it's more of him like paying homage to the culture, or more of him like?
I
yo,
think he's
I need
getting
this
still
check.
a serious bag for that hole in the
does.
wall. I think
But-
it's a bag, and I think he loves the art form of DJ. He's a really good DJ.
Absolutely.
Hell no.
He's not.
Nah, he's good.
No.
He's a good DJ,
No.
yo.
He's annoying as shit.
He's
Nah.
annoying.
I've been to one of his sets.
No, he's a
It
good
was
DJ.
He ain't
terrible.
better than Kid Capri.
According to him, he is.
He's
Yeah,
not.
no, he's not. No, he's
Nah,
not.
not better than
I'm
Kid
sorry.
Capri.
I'm
Close.
speaking from
Not
an
close.
experience on multiple occasions where he was DJing where I was, and it was terrible.
Well,
Terrible.
think
what
he's
made
got-
it terrible?
His transitions, his that fucking explosion
The
shit.
The bombs.
Yo,
He's gotten lazy.
The,
He's gotten lazy.
well, no, it's not him.
if I gotta hear another motherfucking explosion over a fucking Neo song, just play the damn song. Just play the fucking
over
song.
Neo song.
Just let me dance to my sexy love. That's it.
I think a part of dominating DJing in the streets in the city is you being at every spot or your crew being at every spot. So if he could do that until well into his late 60s and he's still doing it, I don't have no problem with that. Do you?
I just think it's different for like a rapper on Jay-Z's level going in like a hole in the wall. You're gonna look at like, Jay, really?
Yeah, what you doing, bro?
Yeah, come
Yeah, it's
on,
totally,
man.
yeah, DJ scene is totally
It's
different.
totally different. Like DJ scene, like
I don't know. Dave Chappelle, when he came back out, he came back out in a hole in the wall.
same thing. I think it's different. I think it's
Yeah.
different. You know,
It's an art form.
yeah.
No,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
that.
I think y'all misconstruing the whole thing of just being active. Like it's on him. He decided to take it, and a lot of times those places that he's at, it's his show.
hmm
He's put on a lot of the biggest shows, hip hop shows in New York City. It's his show. So his bag is not just as a DJ. He's paying DJs. He's getting the bag for the show. He booked whoever the headline is, A Boogie. That's his show. That's why I don't respect some of the Dame memes that were going around, because I'm like, Flex is not just a worker. Let's stop that.
Yeah.
Flex has several businesses. We know that. He's a car dude. You know, he
got lugs.
he got
Him and Birdman.
Why the fuck he
lugs.
still wearing lugs, B?
Birdman.
Because he gave him the bag,
he
bro.
still got love.
Hell yeah, he got on the lug sportswear.
You
He got-
lying.
I'm
You're
fucking with
lying.
you.
I'll say,
I'm
son, they
saying
don't even make lugs.
he's a
Lugs is still
business
there.
owner too, so Dame has to stop
Lugs.
that. Flex
Making that
has
comeback.
dominated every aspect he's ever touched.
I can dig it. He's still
He's
not
just a
better than-
corn.
Yeah, he's very much so.
Yeah, nobody like fucking from New York really fucks with Flex like that.
But I mean, to
He's
each
doing
his
this shit
own.
for clicks.
Too much.
Like I always say,
Yeah,
he's
no,
doing
he
this shit for
definitely.
clicks.
He definitely does.
For
Pretty much.
He definitely
Going on a
does.
rant for clicks. I didn't hear. I think I clicked
That
the
was
wrong one.
that was a way to get people to tune in that night to go
Yeah.
at Dame.
That's him every night though.
Yeah, he needs shit
Like,
because
New York, New York.
105
Yeah, I feel
is
like-
kind of leaving them behind, and High 97 is still trying to like
Be
you know,
clear, New
grab
York.
the shit. Like it's real shit. And they ran it for like what
They ran it
20
forever.
years, like
They
you
ran
know
it forever.
changing of the guard. Like
Damn, I wish I
105
had
is a
the
little bit
bomb.
younger. They got their personalities are
Same thing
more
with Ebro.
successful. Yeah,
But someone
same shit.
also said that Flex by now probably should have been a program director at Hot 97.
He definitely should
Absolutely,
have.
absolutely.
So that's part of what Dame is speaking to, which he's right, because if first of all, I don't care what nobody says. Nobody's checking for Hot 97 like that. We only are check the culture.
The freestyles.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it. The
that's what
culture
it
is checking for Funk Flex freestyles.
Yeah.
And in the rate, if you drive a car, you probably listening to Flex at night maybe.
Not anymore.
But in the morning,
Streaming.
you streaming or listening to
Power
Power
105.
105. Not checking for Ebro. If I keep saying
Ebro's
Ebro is
annoying.
disconnected.
He's
Oh, you
annoying
checking
as
for
shit.
unpopular opinions?
He's
annoying
annoying
as
and
shit.
he's disconnected.
He's the morning version of Flex. Because I don't care now. Like I haven't listened to Flex. On
Nah,
a
Flex
Friday.
is better than Ebro, man.
If
Yeah,
I had
that's-
to pick,
but I like
Tune in to Flex, no?
if
I haven't
you
tuned into Flex in years.
if you had a choice of the two evils, I'll guess I'll pick Funk.
I'll put Flex.
Shit.
Cause you want to hit?
Nope.
Cause it's
Yeah.
funny sometimes. You
Nigga.
talk. Be clear, New York.
No,
No. I'd rather
You sound
hear
like a
Flex
geek.
talk shit.
Cypher don't get gas.
I'd rather hear Flex
I
talk
can't
shit
stand
than
neither
Ebro.
one of them.
Ebro
I
don't
ain't
talk
gonna
his shit that good. Sometimes I like when Flex talk his big dog talk, yo.
Nah.
Cause he dominates the game, yo.
You can't hang out here with me in these digital streets.
No, that shit is
Funny,
annoying.
son.
That shit is annoying. He gotta go somewhere.
Yo, but so real quick though, because I wanted to touch on the post that you put up to Reef as far as like the Michelle Obama joint.
Bruh, I was fucking hurt, son. Like,
But that no,
what the
I saw
We
that.
gotta
That's
talk
real,
about this. Yeah, we
Yeah.
No,
do.
that's real.
What'd you say?
What'd you say,
Can
Q?
you recap it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Michelle Obama had an interview. I forgot with which publication it was with, but she had an interview saying that she and Barack went to marriage counseling or whatever, which that's cool. Like they're regular people, that's cool. But she was like, people think we're the perfect couple, whatever. We had our problems too. If you're married for 50 years and 10 of them are horrible, you're doing a great job. And then I was like, hold the fuck up. So you mean to tell me if I get into a marriage, the thing that I can, like, best case scenario is that 20% of my time will be horrible? Like, not bad, not,
It's not a
trials
lot,
and
though.
tribulations,
It's not-
whatever. Horrible is, maybe it was a bad choice of words, but to me, horrible is horrible. Like, so 20% of my time is horrible. I am not willingly signing up for any situation that is going to result in me being in a horrible situation 20% of the time, except for work. And I have to do that because I got to pay bills. That's the only thing I'm doing. Anything outside of life, if it's 20% horrible, I'm not doing
But
it.
here's a question. So work is
let
how
me ask you-
work is how much time?
Go ahead.
100% horrible. No, oh, wait.
Of your time. Of your time.
Mad time.
No,
Like
so
50 hours a week
how long-
there.
how long have you
travel,
been there?
Getting ready. At my particular job, shit. Fuck that. Not even that job, period.
Right.
I've been working for like 15 years or some shit like that.
Mhm.
So it's always horrible. I
so
never
if you
wanted to
can
do it.
do that at 8 hours a day, 20% of a marriage, that's not a lot of that's
No, but
low.
I have to go to work. That's
No,
the whole
but
thing.
that's
Like I
no-
don't have
no,
to be married. This
but-
is voluntary.
But my point is the work time exceeds 20%.
Definitely.
So
But I have
20%
to do
ain't
it to survive.
nothing.
I won't be alive without going to work to then pay the bills, to then be able to eat,
No, but
to
I'm
then be
trying to
able
get
to
you to see that 20% is nothing out of 20% is nothing really.
of horrible of a voluntary situation.
Well, we have a unique
not-
perspective in the studio. O'Neal, you're married, so what do you think?
So
Don't get yourself in trouble neither, bro.
I was just supposed to
You know
empty the trash.
I'm fucking like,
I
no,
know that's not the money on my goddamn it.
She probably outside.
dragging me
Down.
out of this shit. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
don't get me in trouble.
I don't need my Trini wife downstairs.
Bruh, no,
Black
you
out.
ain't getting me in trouble with
Yeah,
it.
what?
So,
Yeah.
fuck.
I'm like, yo, Reef had me
No,
come,
yeah,
had me come to the podcast.
fuck, no.
I was just
Yeah,
supposed to get pizza.
What? Nah, so
Now I'm on the train to.
I'm gonna just go lay on the couch and seeing the post and seeing her comments, I understood it because you don't look at it as far as like 10 years straight.
No, I wasn't
Horrible.
thinking of straight.
But it's like there are variables that come up in a relationship, like people lose jobs or like just you fall in and out of love. Like you got to reinvent yourself in a marriage. You have to. You have to. It's going to be stale. There are going to be points where it's stale, and you got to refigure out. All right,
Is that grounds to deem something horrible though? To me, horrible is like, yo, this shit is horrible.
So the word choice might not have been
Maybe
the best.
that's
Really what it was because it's not like when you're in a relationship, like
So
when you're in a
it's
marriage,
gonna be
it
bad.
seems horrible. You like this shit is whack. At times you're like,
I've never been in a relationship where I felt like shit was horrible, like at any time, because any voluntary situation I'm in that I feel is horrible, I'm not in anymore. I gotta go to work. I had to go to school. Those are the things I was obligated to do. Those felt horrible all the time. I never wanted to do this shit. As good as I did in school, I hated going. Like, but I had to. I don't have to do this.
But I think it's
Wait, what were you gonna say, Q?
But I think the thing with it, Reef, is that you don't know what's going to be horrible when you get into a marriage. Like, you don't know. Like, probably at the time when you probably get into the marriage, you probably think that things are like flowers and candy, right? Like, and when you hit up on an issue, that's when you recognize like whether or not things are going to be horrible. However, like, the question is, like, are you going to give up? Or are you going to be willing to put in the work? Are you going to give up just because it's not work, or it's not like it's not like at that point it does become an obligation.
If 20% of this shit is horrible, I think it's better for all parties to not do it no more.
No, not necessarily.
I'm always happy when I'm by myself.
That's just you. But that's you.
Of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always happy. Yeah. So then I'm going to take that over. You know what I'm like? This is a voluntary thing. Like, and all I'm saying is, if this is what I have to look forward to, maybe I need to reevaluate my situation. Because if that's best case scenario, if 20% horrible is best case scenario, I need to reevaluate some
That's
things.
not even that.
She said you're doing great. Like, so basically, like an 80 is like is top percentile.
She's talking about in retrospect. She's talking in retrospect.
Based on what
she's been through. Like, in the moment, she's saying and thinking about it, like, you have good times and bad times.
That's exactly what she
And if you can, like, have 20% bad times, it's not really a bad
like
marriage.
for families,
great. Like, there's
doing good. Some people have
way worse, and they still together.
And they still together, just dying.
It's not even 50-50.
My parents been together over 30 years, and I'm pretty sure they can attest to that as well. Like, most of them years weren't the best.
Now, let me
you know
ask
what I'm saying?
this.
So it's one of those things.
Is that societal pressure? Is that religious pressure for you to have to endure something that you are not even that? You know what I'm saying? If you're saying, some people 50-50, even less than that. So majority of the time, shit is horrible. You're in a bad situation. And because of the societal pressures or pressure from your family, you're supposed to stay in that situation just because you don't want to have the stigma of not being married no more?
No.
Fuck that.
I
My
don't think
happiness
that's what
and my shit is number one.
No, not even that. Like, not to stay together like that. It's just, you think about the grand scheme of things, do you think you're gonna find somebody that's gonna treat you better than the person you're with? That's one variable you can think about, and that you do think about in a marriage. Like, then hell, like, now I'm like, shit, I can't even imagine being single now. If we got divorced, I'd be like, shit, I wouldn't know what to do.
I feel you.
I want to be I'm like, you don't want to be the old man at the club, like, now. But
Definitely.
I'm just like
even now, old man at the club.
Like, but now, just like with all the apps and shit, I'd be like, I'd be uncomfortable with all the fucking apps now. Like,
shit, man.
Tinder.
Blender.
Bender. I just made
Like,
that shit.
I don't know, man. It's just
That's Black Tinder.
Blender. Yeah, that's Black Tinder.
Black Tinder. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was out. That's some new shit.
Yeah, that's that new shit.
I don't know. I was just nervous, and a lot of my, these past, 5 to 10 years, I've been trying to struggle with what do we conform to, what do we let society and religion and family kind of force upon us because this is what you have to do. You're supposed to do that, and what we really need. My parents weren't married. I love my dad to death. We share the same father. I love my dad to death. But for my development and for my personality, I think it was absolutely paramount that I did not grow up in a home with him. And I fucking love him.
We both agree with that shit.
It's so demonstrative. It's so like having that energy hovering around me all the time within the home would not have been beneficial for me. I love him. He was absolutely there every time I needed. There was never an opportunity where I needed my father.
We wouldn't be the same people.
But I would not be the same. I would have ran away from home at 12.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that nigga was that annoying.
You're mad annoying, bro. I love you to death, Pops. I love you, bro.
So
you're mad annoying. So what I'm saying is, is it almost even detrimental to the family for you to be in a situation where 20% of the time is horrible? If y'all just lived apart and were okay and just, did the co-parenting thing, is that the better situation for your family? I think that was the better situation for my family. And so I wouldn't put myself in that position if it's the same thing.
I mean, and that's you, right? But there are people who believe in working things out to see where it can go.
Is that real or is that society?
I think it's real. I think it's real. I think society now, their attention span's like, if shit ain't working within the first 2 weeks, I'm done, divorce. Like, now it's just the idea. I think society now, the idea of marriage and love is cute. It's fun. It's it's whimsical, it's whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. I think with Michelle Obama, I think it's a bit OG, old school. Like, we fix the shit until, you know what I'm saying? Because we love each other. You know what I'm saying? Their foundation on love is completely different than what the foundation on love is now in society, whereas it's just the idea of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I got it though. I can dig it.
And we don't know the context in which she was saying horrible.
Exactly. Because her context in horrible.
It could have been the times when Barack wasn't working. There was, they have shared that story
when he
where
was grinding.
when he was grinding, it
Trying
might
to
have
get
been
his-
hard on the family.
Or he
you know?
always forgot to put the toilet seat down, shit like that.
What I'm saying is that you can't call that horrible for me. Don't say, oh shit, my marriage is horrible, and then I'll be like, yo, what's going on? My husband never puts the toilet seat down. I'm like, get the fuck
Well,
out.
But
not
every-
that.
I just- I'm just saying.
There was
Like,
a
that ain't-
time period where
Everybody has that
Everybody
time
has
period.
those.
I'm fishing. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that I think it's hard on any spouse if you're the breadwinner and your spouse is not, is out of
absolutely.
work at the time or
Yeah.
whatever. It can be a struggle.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that, is that horrible? No, but probably in retrospect, it probably wasn't a good time.
I can see somebody saying that that's horrible though. Somebody being like,
He
yo,
might be losing you, Q.
we got I can see somebody saying that's horrible. Somebody didn't have a job. We was
We
struggling.
lost Q.
Right, and I think that's what she said 10 years
Gotta
out of
charge my
50.
phone anyway.
And her and Barack have been married how long?
I don't
A
know.
lot.
Maybe I'm
Yeah,
just
a
too
long
much with
time.
math. I automatically
You know,
started
yeah,
doing
you saw
math.
that.
They're
You saw
still
that.
young. How old?
I said, damn.
They've been married for, I would say, like
20
15
years?
plus years, 20 plus years, I think.
Oh,
It's
so
fair to say.
with that said, that's probably like a 3 to 5 year time that wasn't
Yeah.
good.
You got to think about it all being broken up throughout
Right.
that span.
Yeah,
You go
yeah, I
through
don't
those
think it's
times.
consecutive.
It's the way it's phrased. I think if they would have changed, let me see the heading.
I just went to it
The title of
immediately,
the
and I
article.
was like, horrible.
To
is a
fix
crazy
her
word.
husband. She went to counseling to fix her husband.
Yeah.
So I think it was like if they would have phrased it differently, saying
Bad.
out their marriage, about 10% of their 20-year relationship was considered
Yeah.
horrible, then you would put it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
Definitely.
the way it was worded for the title of the article. It's a shock. You're like,
Yeah,
damn.
I didn't even know. It was her direct
no,
quote.
Yeah.
you
If
got to
you're
be
married,
real. You got to
50
know, like, there's no way, like, they are the standard for the black family now. It's not the Cosby. They're the new Cosbys.
Can't say the Cosby's anymore.
They're the new Cosbys. Let's be real.
Nah, the
They are the
fictional-
new Cosby.
Heathcliff Huxtable ain't do shit. Bill Cosby did that shit.
Yeah.
Cliff Huxtable ain't do shit.
Son, they
Cliff
are-
and Claire Huxtable are still
They're-
the
they're
ideal
the-
black couple.
Yeah, they're the new.
Bill
they're
Cosby
the,
did that shit.
They're the new
Cliff
Cosby.
ain't do none of that.
I mean, they're the new Huxtables.
Fuck that.
They
I
are
still
the-
look up to Cliff and
But
Claire.
certain,
Bill,
I tried,
you're a
but it's
rapist.
gone.
though.
but I remember though. I just saw that old clip of the episode where he was making the barbecue. They
Yeah,
had
where
the
he was
sauce.
putting Quaaludes in
So
that.
they had the sauce. I was like, yo, word.
Yeah,
It's
nah, I
like,
remember
damn. I was just like, oh man.
I don't know.
But
I
Free
know.
Bill Cosby.
20% was crazy. This is my brother, but I grew up in a house by myself, so I'm so accustomed to being alone that anybody that fucks up my peace of mind, I
Yeah.
don't even want you to be there because my whole peace of mind is being by myself.
Uh-huh.
The majority of my life, I was by myself. So, like, you fucking that shit up, you come around and 20% of my time is horrible, get the fuck away from me. I will
Nah,
be
I
by
think
myself.
you're taking it wrong.
100% of the time I'm by myself, I'm happy.
any advice.
So all I'm saying is 50-50. You know what I'm saying? 50-50.
If it's 50-50, I'm out. I'm sorry.
I'm not speaking in
movement by
regards to.
myself.
I'm just saying 50-50. I mean, as far as like everybody brings something to the table where it
Yeah.
just is equal. I mean, as far as what Michelle was saying, I think in relation to, in comparison to what she was going through with Barack Obama, that's why it it may come off as crazy. But again, her circumstance is different than everybody else's, or her marriage, dare I say. But it happens. So this is we going into episode 17 next week, and we going into Christmas.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Before we cut out of here, anybody got any Christmas anything on their wish list for Christmas?
Yo, I want Red Dead Redemption and I want fucking Super Smash Brothers. Everybody's asking me for money this past week, so I had to give out mad money. So somebody buy me that shit, cause nigga broke.
What?
I want video games.
Rain, what about you? What you want for Christmas?
What's on for Christmas? I don't know off rip. I did have a wish list, but I don't know. I want a new MacBook Pro.
Bumbleclot.
Hell yeah.
I can agree with that.
I think I want that. I want that too. I've been wanting that for the past 2 years. I think I
Word.
might just
How much them
get
shits
on my.
cost again?
You can get it on a Humble for like $400.
What?
A used one.
Yeah,
that's what I'm about to
that
say.
is
You're
not
bugging.
probably like about 5 years old.
Nah, you can get
that's
one
what
that's
I'm
like
saying.
2 to 3 years old. Trust me.
Where
For
at?
500.
For like 500. That's
Where,
still not.
yo?
I'll show you. I'll listen, man.
I know. I will say I do know Best Buy, Walmart. They all have used and refurbished ones for like 500
Yeah.
or 300, but they're not
Them shits don't
2
be
years
worth it.
old.
Like 3 years old.
Like 5 years.
3 to
old.
4. I don't know about 5. The 5 years old is one I have, and that joint is the white one, the pure white one.
Oh,
That one is 6 years old. But yeah.
yeah, that's on my wish list.
What about you, OG? Excuse me.
Excuse me. Say it for the kids. Ultimately, I mean, I just want my daughter. So I'm away from the mic. My daughter, I just want her to wake up as she always does, happy. She's gonna be all right. That's what. As long as she's good.
Shout out to Arden.
Yeah, as long as she's good, I'm good.
Yeah, Artie gonna get it.
Yeah,
she gonna get it in Christmas.
She always racks up. I want to be her when I grow up. I
Hell
always
yeah.
say that. I want to be my daughter when I grow up.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what's
So
up.
she's happy. It's good.
That's a dope response, man.
That's what's
a
up.
Very fatherly response. You said,
Yep.
I started getting video games and shit. I want this game.
Mhm.
Oh, she wants Uncle Reef to buy her. No, she wants
Switch.
She wants a Nintendo Switch. I'm hoping Uncle Reef finds a hookup.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
if he gets
What?
her, if he gets her a Nintendo Switch,
Lit.
he's already the man in her eyes. But
Mhm.
like, she loves Uncle Reef.
We
If
get
Uncle
it.
Reef gets a Nintendo Switch for her,
What's the Switch?
I mean,
the Nintendo
the little
system,
handheld.
the new joint.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I have it, so she's
plays-
come over and played like Mario
okay.
Kart and all that, and it's crazy how good she is.
That's
at
what I
these
want, too.
grown ass adult
That
games.
thing is fun.
Like,
I want a gaming system.
That's what's
Get the
up.
Switch.
I
You
would
can
say
take it on
Switch.
the
I want
go.
to start killing niggas on the gaming shit. The gaming industry is popping right now.
it's not like stigma no more. Like you a nerd, you're like you play video games.
No, but I
type shit.
came up, but I'm like the old school. I came up like Nintendo and shit. Like
Hell
I had
yeah.
mad games.
I'm a PS4 dude. I like PS4, but I haven't played video games in it's been a minute.
I got an Xbox, but I'm strictly Nintendo. I pledge my allegiance to Nintendo.
And
And
Nintendo?
Nintendo
Always
drops, I'm getting it. Oh, I had 360. I mean, fucking GameCube. I had 64. I had the
you
regular
have
Nintendo.
you on Nintendo
Wii.
over PS,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
Nintendo over
always have-
everything. I have an
always.
Xbox.
but is it better?
To me, I think Nintendo Switch is the best system that has ever come out, just because of the games are super dope, and to be able to transfer it like the handheld. To the
What?
shit, like you could be playing on the
Bro,
TV.
what are you talking
and
about,
then connect
man?
it to the shit and take it right, and then it's handheld.
Yeah,
and it's the
functionality
shit,
of it is dope.
And then you leave, and then you out, and you come home, you can hook it right up. The shit goes right to the TV, and like
I guess
you know,
that's
I'ma
all
look
right.
into
The
that.
functionality is dope.
That's
Oh, that's
okay.
what I want. I want right now. What's popping is the old school. They got the old school game, like Pac-Man and stuff. Like the
Oh, the
old
old car,
school.
you want
but
the old arcade game?
It's like $200
Yeah.
in Walmart. They're selling
you
those.
could get it.
That's
Yeah, I
what's
just
up.
saw the Street Fighter one, which is
Nah.
dope.
For me, I'm simple. I just want I'm like you, Ryan. I want a MacBook Pro, which I might just get it myself. I don't really ask for much for Christmas because I feel like it's more for the kids.
Definitely.
I'm good on getting gifts. Actually, shout out to all the students that got me something for Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
Hey.
shout
I
out
got
to them.
I got the
That's what's
smell
up.
goods.
Me too.
That's
me
what I
too.
want. I want some. I seen this. I got this bomb sample. Carolina Herrera.
I got
Some
some.
good
I got some Nautica.
Oh, damn, they got shit.
I was like, oh snap!
All right, kids.
I got a Nike gift card.
Okay.
Damn, my kids
Okay.
didn't give me no Nike.
I
gotta
got
give
a
my kids.
Dunkin' Donut shit.
Yeah, I got Starbucks.
I got a couple shit. They blessed me this
Target.
year.
I
You
got
always
something
get
for
a
that
Target
student too. I left it in the crib. I
Ah
gotta bring,
man. Yeah, let me
I gotta
know. Let
bring
me
it.
know.
Yeah. I'll give it to you so you can
Next
get
week.
I forgot. Yeah, damn.
Oh,
I
that was a
should've bought
student who.
Yeah.
Monday night
Hell
mixtape?
yeah.
Monday night mixtape.
No, the
You
Buster
already
joint.
know.
I didn't tell you the Buster joint is my favorite.
Yeah.
The Buster joint where you did the Give Me Some
Oh
More.
yeah.
That
Yo,
was always
my beat.
son. That was always
bro.
my beat back in the
That
day.
was my shit. That was my
joint.
shit. I love that. I think that might be my favorite
some more.
Buster. The video.
Yeah, that was the
whole
best
shit,
video.
Like
I mean,
Flip
throw your hands-
was the greatest when he was a little
No,
kid. And he did the
Everything
shit, that
Remains
shit
Raw
fire.
was also one of my favorites. Just because the essence of the video, they in the car, and that's real Buster. Just
Oh
like,
yeah. That
that-
talking about break your neck. That shit.
No, everything
everything-
remains raw. They were in the
everything
they were
remains
in the
raw.
truck. They were in the Jeep driving through Times Square.
Which album was that?
That
That's
was
the first album.
Oh,
Everything Remains Raw.
My bad.
That
my
beat,
bad.
that's
Forgive
probably one of my favorite Buster songs. That's
sorry.
That's one of my favorite Buster songs ever.
Yeah, I
Nah,
used
my
to-
shit is like
like-
put your hands where my eyes can see. That beat is.
Oh, that was
That was dope.
time.
Yeah,
super
but
classic. You can't fuck.
Yeah. Nah, but I mean, Christmas is Christmas.
I want love and peace for everybody.
Yes.
Like Michael Jackson said.
We'll be
in
here
his songs.
next week, day before New Year's Eve,
Hell yeah.
and we'll have our top 5 albums of the year.
Yup.
Thanks for having me.
No
everybody.
problem. OG O'Neal,
My
thank you.
sweet brother,
Come back,
Sweet
come
brother,
back.
them say. Excuse
It
me.
is you.
Excuse
Oh
me.
my goodness.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, to all the West Indians, happy Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Shout out to Q from Antigua, repping for the Antigua.
Boom, boom.
You know, shout out.
We
You
don't
know,
have that.
we don't have that, but we do got this though. We got this.
Not a mercy.
So, Unpopular Opinions, episode 16.
16, 1-6.
1-6. You gotta do your shit. You gotta do your 1-6.
Yeah, 1-6, baby. Desi Sace, right?
Facts.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy holidays.